Give me a second. I have to check something because I have something for you. But right before I went live, all of my that's what I thought. My all of my audio software that I use to route audio from one thing to the next, they all
Name game.
They all decided to upgrade. They all decided to just update spontaneously, so I had to restart everything, and then not all of my audio permissions made it through in the way that I would like them to. So yeah, let me see what we've got here. Is our music good at the moment? There should be some Disco Elysium at the moment, but not too much. Let me know. Also, I've got some name games to do, but I want to make sure all of our audio is right. Let me make sure. Okay, you don't hear anything. So now there is something going on, but it is very, very soft. I can turn it up, but I'll turn it back down because I know you don't like it when it's all too loud, y'all. So, but this is... Should you like a little bit? Tell me you hear it, Ishmael said. Because I'm showing the audio's going out to y'all. Okay, I put the background music down quite low. And you said I am muffled. Am I muffled? Am I muffled? Do I hear myself? I do hear myself. I was not as bad now, because I've got myself hitting pretty high levels at the moment. I was very, very low, not now, but on the charity stream that I was on Tuesday, the GM wanted me to take my audio down. He thought it was too loud, so I turned my audio all the way to 0. I cannot imagine that it sounded good during the stream because uh, they had me take my mic volume down to 0, which meant that I was coming in at like very low, which meant I was like in my mind I could not hear what I sounded like, but I was pretty sure that I was cutting out. Oop. That I was like gating and cutting out. But I was like, if this is where you want me, I will be right here at minus 24 dB. And if I'm cut out, if I'm noise gated out and you cannot hear me, it's fine. So, you know, that was like, I was like, look, I cannot say what's happening. Now, that said, I need to do something. That's what I need to do. Great. So, how are you all? I have fixed myself up. Wait. Oh, you know what I did? I did that for... I forgot. If I do this for me, it also happens for you. You know what? I feel like that's not true. No, it's not true. It's just for me. Don't worry about it. So I've got... There's a... Audio routing is a bit of an exciting journey because the... so I've got a Motu Ultralight Mark V, which is this really great audio interface. And the reason why I got it is because there's a number of line inputs, which I can use then to bring my synthesizer into... Basically, if I want to record my synthesizer in multiple voices, I need to have a pretty robust audio interface. And modern audio interfaces recognize that they need to have a loop out, so I can take things from... Like, I can go from the computer to it and then back to the computer so that you can all hear it. And the channels that are looped back are the same channels I get in my headset. So that means that whatever I'm hearing is what you're hearing, but I do not always want that to be the case. Because, for example, I don't want to be hearing myself, but I want you to hear me. So I had to sort of split up the routing. So I created through a different program special inputs that are separate from my headphone mix so that I could separate those things and give them all different volumes, which has been going very well. But I just turned off Disco Elysium so that I didn't have to hear it. But I was like, I hope that you're still hearing it, and you are. So we're good. We are fine. Hey, Holiday Boop. So I've got a bunch of things to tell you, like a bunch of things, and I want to tell them to you, but I can't tell you them right now because right now I have to tell you something else that is quite important. The thing that it is that I have to tell you. And the thing that I have to tell you is the name game. Come on, everybody. I say now let's play a game. I bet you I can make a rhyme out of anybody's name. The first letter of the name, I treat it like it wasn't there. And then a B or an F, or an M will appear. And then I say bow at a B, then I say the name, then banana, fanner, and foam. Then I say the name again with an F, very plain. Then a fee, fi, and a mo. Then I say the name again with an M this time, and there isn't any name that I can't rhyme. Atomica, 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 banana, fana, foof, atomica, fee, fi, mo, atomica. Atomica, But if the first two letters are ever the same, I drop them both and say the name. I like Bob, Bob, drop the B's, bow, or Fred, Fred, drop the F's, fo, red, or Mary, Mary, drop the M's, mo, airy. That's the only rule that is contrary. BP Phantom, BP Phantom, BP Phantom, bo, EP Phantom, banana, fanafo, FP Phantom, fee, fi, mo, me, P Phantom. BP Phantom, the name game. Woo! Thank you, everybody. Hey! And Krellin was correct. It was indeed the name game that I wanted to share with you all. Oh my goodness. So, look, I've got some things. I was doing math and then I did math wrong. So I need to share with you the incorrectness of my math. So, do my numbers. I have a spreadsheet. Every single stream I have ever done, either on my channel or someone else's channel, is on this spreadsheet. The date, the number, the title. I've categorized it, right? Like I have a, this is, Krellin, no, it is not my 500th stream. It is not. I was doing my math, and I was like, oh, it's my 500th stream. And I was like, that's so weird, because I would think I would have more streams than that, you know? And I was wrong. It is not my 500th stream. I had been, way back when I first organized this, or somewhere in the middle, I did a cut and paste error. This is not my 500th stream. This is my 701st stream on this channel. Last stream, Rain World, was my 700th stream. This one is 701, and that's on the channel. When it comes to overall, I've got like 1,100, almost 1,200 streams. Total, you know, between my channel and everybody else's channel, it's like almost 1,200. But for this stream, it's 701 today. So it's not like a big celebration, but I was like, oh, so I was like, 500 doesn't seem right. Yeah, it's 701 is what I got. But not the point. The point is, I was like, oh, wrong one. But I did want to show you something. Now you think, why are you showing me this? Yeah, I get it. But that's actually not the thing I wanted to show you. What I wanted to show you was, I'm pretty sure that. It's fine that it's your 500 plus stream. Every stream is your 500th stream and worth celebrating. Thank you, Volpez. We're gonna do a giveaway, by the way, today at our midpoint. But you know, I got this synthesizer and I was working on it a little bit, and I wanted to share it with you because I was working on the synthesizer. Let me get myself to a place where I can hear it, and then I will get you to a place where you can hear it. You know what? That looks so small. I feel like that should look better. Let's see if we can make that look better. Why don't we? Hello, camera. Where are you at? All right, hold on. I would like to... We are going to bring this in a little bit. And that... Oops. Hello. Here. Then we're going to get this to be just a bit bigger. Whoop. I really feel like there's probably a slightly better way to get this going on, but it's fine for the moment. I'm not gonna, it's not the end of the world. It's fine. Okay, so this is the 2 HP lunchbox that I got. I remember I told you about it, but I wanted to demonstrate it for you, but then I couldn't because I just gotten it, had just unpacked it. Well, I want to show it to you, how it works. It's this cute little synth. I can do more with it, but at the moment, I got it going on. How late am I streaming? 9:30. We're like about 9:30. So now
We're
question,
in
does
the
changing the
morning.
length of the patch cables change the tones created? No, it does not. The length of the patch cable should not change anything.
We're in the morning.
Oh, you know what? I just had a thought. By the way, I hear you. I just saw that. Oh, bits! Oh, hey Twitch, thanks for adding bits to Be Right's cheer. Twitch is doing a thing right now, but I just realized that I don't like what's happening. It's not you, it's me. I'm gonna put this here. Sure. Let's put it there. I feel like that's fine. Okay. So I believe we just got some bits from from B Right UK. And as a thank you, when we get bits, we sing We're in the Money, as sung by Ginger Rogers in the film Gold Diggers of 1933, which means, I sing it in Pig Latin, and which is what I'm going to do right now. I'm also moving all of my little software around so I can see you. So let me see. B-Right says, I don't like it as much, but I offer up to you an alternative to BG3. Sting and Dire Straits with I want my disco E. I want my disco E. Thank you, B-Right. And for thanks, and hey, Twitch. Airway and hey, the anime. Airway and hey, the anime. Eve way up, gay, up, way up, way up, way up, way to take gay, and way. Airway and hey, the anime. The ice skates are on his side. Old man, the Asian pray, ooh, we are a ooh, three, you stay and way hungry. Even if we eat red lions lay, if we had brayons lay, ooh, tay day. And we see the end, the order will look like the eye, get really the eye, yeah. We're in the money, we're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. Thank you for those bits, and thank you, Twitch, for adding. What are you doing, Twitch? What's going on? Beeping and booping. Holiday bits and subs from. Oh, I see. I will never not think of Trooper when I hear this song. Well, I feel like that's probably good. I mean, maybe it's not. I don't know. But look, so
We're in the
wanted to share
money.
with you. Oh, well. In which hype train incoming. What? Hey.
We're in the money.
All right. Okay. First off, they're making everything look very different right now. Everything's very fancy at the moment. I wonder if this is forever or just for the holidays. I can't say, actually. I don't know. However, 100. I'm also getting bonus bits just because I can and because I want a bonus song. Okay, I see you. So this ain't working. That's how way you do it. Playing Elysium on Twitch TV. Come on, man. That's the way you do it. So let me think. Let's see. We get a bonus song. How about a bonus song? Okay, I don't know why this is in my head, but it is. It's Tiptoe Through the Tulips by Tiny Tim, but in Pig Latin. And I don't know if I can do it, but I'm going to try.
We're in the money.
Tiptoe through the tulips by the moonlight. That's
We're in the money.
I'll be. So tiptoe through the tulips with me. It's something like tiptoe.
We're in the money.
Three. Earway and hey. She doesn't Pig Latin the for there for rhythmic purposes. So I think I can probably get away with not doing it. So it'd be tiptoe three. Tiptoe through the tulips. Tiptoe three. I don't want to say the. Tiptoe through the tulips.
Name game.
Tiptoe three. Tulips tay. I may the like me.
We're in the money.
I'll way eBay. Oh, say tiptoe three. The tulips tay. It's way email.
We're in the money.
Huh? I got that. I got not bad, right? Oh, I wish I had still had that one song under my fingers. Do you know what's a great song? Like old school style way. That's to go into. No, I'm thinking of hold on. It's the version, like so many people have sung it, but the version I'm thinking of right now is by Ruth Edding, and it is it's not By the Light of the Silvery Moon. It's hold on. The night was mighty dark, so you could hardly see, but the moon refused to shine. Couple sitting underneath a willow tree. For love they pine. Little maid was kind of afraid of darkness, so she said, I guess I'll go. Boy began to sigh, look up at the sky, tell the moon his little tale of woe. Shine on, harvest moon, up in the sky. I ain't had no lovin' since January, February, June, and July. Snow time ain't no time to stay outdoors and spoon. So shine on, harvest moon, for me and my gal. Oh, shine on, harvest moon, way up in the sky. And I ain't had no lovin' since January, February, June, and July. No time, ain't no time to stay outdoors and spoon. So shine on, harvest moon, for me and my gal. Well, but I had to get a bonus song, so that's the bonus song. I was like, what is the title of the song? It's Shine on Harvest Moon. That's a good one. I've got to tell you something, but I do have name games to sing. But I do have to tell you something, which I think is super interesting. Hey Twitch, thanks for the bonus. So here's what I wanted to tell you. Distractions. Oh, I see those. That's a fantastic choice for this. Thank you, Volpez. It has to be above 300 bits for the bonus. Oh, that's interesting. So let's see. I saw a great IG Instagram of redoing Baby It's Cold Outside as two lesbians talk about moving in together. They did a great job. Oh, Vulpus, I saw that one. It was really good. They were, that is a handsome couple. So thing that I wanted to share with you is about the song. So that song, so here's the thing. If you may not, some of you may know it because you know those things. Some of you may not know it. But Shine on Harvest Moon, but actually a lot of songs that you may know are written in what we call the 10-pin alley 32 bar AABA 10-pin alley structure. There's a whole 10-pin alley structure where that's you have a phrase that lasts 8 measures. That the music that's in those 8 measures they happen again a second time. The third 8 measures is a different melody, and then the fourth 8 measures go back to the first one. It was called the 10-pin alley structure. It came out in like the teens. It was like all the rage for a couple decades. Sort of started dying out once rock and roll hit really big. There's still some 10-pin alley 32 bar AABA songs in the rock and roll era, but they're not as popular. But here's the thing about them, and actually a lot of the great standards you're thinking of are 10-pin alley songs in that 10-pin alley song structure. But I have to tell you something about it, which I think you might find interesting. But B-Right says, I started some lyrics with, look at them yo-yos, that's the way you do it. Look at them yo-yos, that's the way you do it. Streaming video on the Twitch TV, that ain't working. That's the way you do it. Money for nothing and your bits for free. Now that ain't working. That's the way you do it. Let me tell you, those guys ain't dumb. Maybe get a blister on your little finger. Using controller sticks, bruising your thumb. We got to install multi-rack servers. Custom cluster delivery. We got to fix the room refrigerators. We got to install that CCTV. I'll be right. Yeah. Oh, I love it. Hey. Okay, so thanks all those new. Hey, we're getting all sorts of new emotes. It's so good. All right, so let me tell you, this is the thing. Those of you who don't know this, you might find this very exciting. So, makes me want to repost my Skyrim streamer version of that song. You probably should. Okay, so, I just sang Shine on Harvest Moon, right? Which is like, shine on, shine on harvest moon up in the sky. I ain't had no lovin' since January, February, June, or July. So, right, if we count this out, we're gonna do a little bit of music theory right now because it's my 700th and first stream anniversary, and I gave you my synthesizer so we can chat about it. Because I have to tell you, you all, do you know the song "Sign on Harvest Moon"? Like, right? So if you think about this, so all right, so a measure is a unit of time. When you for those of you for very basic music theory, any kind of song you can break it into a pulse, right? You can give a beat, but that pulse itself is usually subdivided into groups. We usually subdivided these things in groups of 4. So we'd say like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And that 1, 2, 3, 4 is a measure, or you can also call it a bar. And songs often are, so you have like this group of 4, that's your basic measure or beat. Now, a waltz is 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? And some marches are often 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. There are a lot of cool songs that are 6, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anyway, right? So, but that's not the point. The point is, you've got your measure. We tend to have a phrase is very often 4 measures at a time. And so very often we're going to have like a chorus or a verse that's our chunks of 4 measure phrases. The Tin Pan Alley song structure is 8 measures, another 8 measures, another 8 measures, and another 8 measures is 32. So if you take the song "Shine on Harvest Moon," right? So I'm gonna conduct this using the conducting pattern for 4/4, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the downbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4 is the upbeat. So when I come down, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's one measure. So, right, shine on, harvest moon, up in the sky. I ain't had no lovin' since January, February, June, or July. Right, so that right there is 8 measures. Right, I could go 1 on, 2 on harvest, 3 up in the 4, 5 ain't, 6 no lovin' since 7 very 7 airy February, June, or 8. Right, so that's the first phrase. It's the pulse, right? It's the pulse. And in a 32 bar structure, you'll have that first 8 measures, and then it's going to repeat the melody itself, right? So, shine on, harvest moon. I should do this like 3. Boom, up in the sky. I ain't had no lovin' since January, February, June, or July. And then we're going to repeat the melody. Snow time ain't no time to stay outdoors and spoon. So shine on harvest moon for me and my gal. Right now, for a really good and true, so let me think of a really, really good tin pan, because I need to get you the whole thing. It'd be like let me get one. Probably Someone to Watch Over Me is probably a Tin Pan Alley song, because all the classic songs, like all the what we call the standards, almost all of them are Tin Pan Alley songs. But there's a point that I want to get to that I can't tell you till we get to this part. It's let me think. There's a certain someone I'm longing to see. I hope that he will always be. I would need the whole thing. Hold on. Let me get a really good one. Let me get a really, really good one that I know off the top of my head, because 32 bar, you're not giving me what I want. Because here's the thing. I have to tell you, it's really important. 32 bar 10, and you know what I think is actually I actually think 60 Minute Man is a 32 bar Tin Pan Alley song. I actually think it is. Let me see. Part of the point that I want to tell you with all this, I still want you to actually hear a good version of it, is that most of those Tin Pan Alley, Bye Bye Blackbird, Yes, I think it is. Pack up all my cares and woes. Here I go. Sing. Yes. Okay. I can do Bye Bye Blackbird. Here we go. That'll be a good example. Okay. So, Bye Bye Blackbird, the song, if you know it, right? It goes, pack up all my cares and woes. Here I go. Singing low. Bye. That's 5 right here. Uh, Bye bye, blackbird, where somebody waits for me, sugar sweet, so is she. Bye bye, blackbird. Right, so we just have the 8 twice, and then we get the contrasting section. No one here can love and understand me. Oh, what hard luck stories they all hand me. We go back to the first melody. So something. Make the bed and light the lights. I'll arrive late tonight. Blackbird, bye bye. Right. So, um, that's the A. Repeats. Now we get the B section. Back to the A. Right. So that's your AABA structure. But here's the thing that's really interesting. I think this is really interesting. Hey Max, how are you? Got to sit in the hot tub and then shower. Nice, in the hot tub. Yes. So here's what's really interesting. Let me now pop out of that moment to get to our moment where we live right now. Musically, we're used to what you would call like the verse chorus structure, where you have a verse which has one set of music. It's probably a bunch of measures, and usually that verse is repeated twice, different lyrics but the same music. And then we get the chorus, which is different music, another set of lyrics, and choruses have the same music and the same lyrics, and it usually has the title of the song, which so you remember what the song is so you can buy it, right? And generally speaking, when you sort of write a song, the verses tell the story of the song, and the chorus is sort of like some sort of, it's the hook, it's some kind of other thing, right? So it's like verse, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, 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 right? That's what we're used to. We're used to verses and choruses. So here's the thing that's really interesting. If you know a lot of Tin Pan Alley songs, like Bye Bye Blackbird, um, Someone to Watch Over Me, uh, almost anything sung by like, Ella Fitzgerald and Frank Sinatra, all that stuff. Here's what's really interesting. Most of the songs are written from the 20s. They're being sung in the 40s and 50s again later. But the Tin Pan Alley song, which is oftentimes the only thing you know about the thing, is actually not the entire song. Almost all of those songs, that Tin Pan Alley 32 bar moment is actually the chorus of the song. And almost all of those songs had verses. And almost none of the people that sang those songs in the 1950s and 60s, 40s, 50s, 60s, which are the versions that you know, ever sang the verses. So most of those songs that you might have heard on the old radio or whatever, there are verses that are connected to them, and you probably don't know them because the people who sang them afterwards didn't sing those verses. They only sang the 32 bar Tin Pan Alley chorus section and not the verses. So, Bye Bye Blackbird, pack up all my cares and woe. Here I go, singing low. Bye bye Blackbird. That's just the chorus. There are verses to that song. It goes like and what's really interesting is that because right, it's kind of like sonata form, where you have the Shakespearean sonata, which has Shakespearean sonata is A B A B B B C B C D E D E F F, I believe, is the Shakespearean sonata form. So, and the Shakespearean sonata form, the first 4, right, the A B A B C D C D sets up the setup, and then the last 6 lines sort of give you a turn. There's like a bit of a twist to it, right? So like when in disgrace with fortune in men's eyes, I all alone beweep my outcast state, and trouble deaf heaven with my bootless cries, and look upon myself and curse my fate. Wishing me to like to one more rich in hope, hatred like him with friends possessed, desiring this man's art and that man's scope with what I most enjoy contented least. So that's your first 8, right? Which sets up this idea that you are super sad and miserable, you're very emo, and you're just kind of like jealous of everybody who's got everything in the world and you've got nothing, right? That's your first. Then you've got to have your turn, which is, yet, in this state, myself almost despising, haply I think on thee. And then my state, like to the break of day, arising from sullen earth, sings hymns at heaven's gate. For my state, uh, um, for in that state, such, for when I think on thee, such joy brings, that then I would uh, ne'er change my state with king, right? So that then the last 6 sort of gives you the turn where you realize, oh yes, I'm so miserable, but I'm in love with you, and since I'm so in love, actually all that stuff doesn't matter, right? So that's your turn. So very often verses give you a context for the chorus. You can't really understand what the chorus is like without understanding the context from the verses. Like in Living on a Prayer, right? Bon Jovi, like, oh, we're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. Take my hand and we'll make it, I swear. Oh, living on a prayer. But you don't know what that means if you don't know about like Tommy and Gina, right? So what's really fascinating is that we have grown up with all of these 10 Pen Alley songs where we're only getting the choruses and none of the verses. And so then you don't necessarily have there's like a lot of context to the song that you don't get, right? So like with Bye Bye Blackbird, where what you probably know is like, pack up all my cares and woes, here I go, swinging along, right? But the verse is like, Blackbird, blackbird, singing the blues all day, right outside of my door. Blackbird, blackbird, gotta be on my way, where there's sunshine galore. Pack up all my cares and woes, right? So there's that lead, and then like I think the second verse is like, bluebird, bluebird. There's like basically it's like, but there's the context, and just like with Shine on Harvest Moon, most people do not know the verses, which is they know shine on Harvest Moon up in the sky. I ain't had no lovin' since January, February, June, or July. No time, ain't no time to stay outdoors and spoon. But shine on Harvest Moon for me and my guy. Right? But they don't know the verses, which is the night was mighty dark, but so you could hardly see. So for the moon refused to shine. A couple sitting underneath a willow tree. For love, they pine. But little maid was kind of afraid of darkness, so she said, I guess I'll go. The boy began to sigh, look up at the sky, and told the moon his little tale of woe. So the reason why he sang shine on silent, shine on, shine on, shine on, silent. He wants the moon to shine so that there's enough light that his girlfriend isn't nervous being in the dark, so they can continue making out, right? But you lose all that context because it became the norm to just not perform the verses when we did the songs later. And that is a holdover of the fact that this was dance music. So very often what would happen is that you'd have the band playing the verses instrumentally so people could dance, and then you'd have like a singer there. Because in the old style, the in old dance band music, the singer was not like the huge star. Like you'd have Ella Fitzgerald or Louis Jordan, a bunch of other people, and they would be like they'd be just sitting down waiting to sing, right? They'd sit there and you'd have like a couple of minutes of them just playing the verses. And then when the choruses would come, they'd pop up and they'd sing the chorus, and they'd sit back down and the band would continue playing. And so the singer was not like the big star. That actually happens with the destruction of big bands, with the radio strike that happens in the 1940s during World War II, the fact that a lot of musicians get drafted. There's a lot of things that happen that basically changes the way that music was sort of dance music, jazz dance music is produced, where you had a singer who was just like one of the members of the band who'd like pop up and do a thing and then sit back down, them becoming like the stars. But the practice of not singing those verses persisted, which means that there are a lot of these songs we don't necessarily have the context to understand what kind of funny thing the chorus is doing, because we only know the chorus. I thought you might find that interesting. Ta-da! Harvest. Thank you, Volpez. Thank you. So that's like a little bit of fun music trivia. So, all that said, I got this synthesizer and I wanted to show it to you. And how many got major exposure with Hollywood and movies, so only had time for shorter pieces of the music? Yeah, but also, um, very often what ends up happening is that when it goes into, it's also a shift, is that these people, when they become these solo stars, they're often not making dance music anymore, right? Like this was dance music, and then it becomes not dance music. It becomes a way for the artist to show off their vocal prowess, and so you don't need all that dead space. It wouldn't have been dead space if you were dancing. It would have been just dance music. So they just kind of cut all of that out. B Right says, "Hey Barator, how are you? I think sometimes session singers are undervalued. Absolutely. The BBC had an awesome singer performing the lyrics of the Doctor Who Christmas single, The Goblin King. The words by Russell T are horrific, but the song is so good and catchy. Oh my goodness. Um, if you're interested in session singers, be right, but I recommend this to everyone. There's a wonderful documentary called 20 Feet from Stardom. I'm pretty sure it's 20 Feet from Stardom, and it's all about the background singers, right? Going from like the 60s onwards, a little bit earlier, right? So like uh and some like very like Mary Clayton, a bunch of very specific people who were like who sang backup with the Rolling Stones, or there'd be very often there were like these gospel singers who people would hire to go and sing backup, or they would be like maybe a doo-wop or girl group, and they would hire them, and they would be these singers who are amazing, and they would never ever um, become famous, right? And their voices would be there, and they would be so important to the song itself. But then we don't know who they are because those people are never actually part of the band. They're just session singers, right? So it's a really good documentary. Anyhow, let me show you my synth. I thought I'd show it for you. So, what do I got? There we go. All right, so this is my lunchbox right here, and I believe, and then we're gonna play. But I wanted to show this to you first. What do we got here? Okay, so power supply, not a big deal. Whew, that's not gonna be good. Let me do this. No. Power supply over there. Boop, boop, boop. Hawkeye says, there are many great gospel quartets who would back up studio or concert tour singers. Absolutely. Elvis, yes, use them exclusively. The Jordanaires, Judy Sumner and the Stamps, the Imperials. The Jordanaires are amazing. Hawkeye, the Jordanaires are so good. And I can't even imagine what early Elvis would be like without the Jordanaires. I mean, return to sender. I mean, those backup singers, those gospel quartets, gospel trios, all of those singers, they were so crucial to that sound that it's really hard to imagine. Not even just early rock and roll, but even like a lot of the Stones did it all the time. A bunch of groups did. Yeah. Speaking of lunch, how many meals have I had today? I've had 1.5. I had like my rice, beef bowl, and peas, and then I had a little mini muffin hand pie, and then I'm gonna make split pea soup. Mark my words. I can't make split pea soup tonight because I do not have all the ingredients, but I'm going to order them, and then I will make split pea soup tomorrow. But I've got others. So this here is my sequencer, and the sequencer will run through a series of sounds that I've programmed, but it doesn't do it by itself. It has to be triggered. So this here is my random. Ha! Nice. So this is a random. This triggers randomly, so it'll just send out a trigger, and this trigger. So if you notice, this right here is a splitter. So I'm taking a signal from right here, and you can see the little red light, the yellow, green. The green light is beeping, and this is sending a little trigger that comes out here, and then I'm splitting it here, and I'm sending it the sequencer so that it will hit the sequencer every time this triggers. It'll go through one of the steps of my sequencer. And then I'm also sending it up here to the pluck, which is where I'm getting my sounds. I've got a little plucking sound. So it will trigger this plucking sound and then also the sequencer. In the sequencer, what it is doing, it's sending out its signal into the pluck. I've got it going into the pitch. So this sequencer is going to control the pitch of the pluck. So this is going to happen. Then, what else do I have? This is going to control, like, and now I'm also going to be messing with the sound of the pluck, so it will sound a little bit differently. This is some reverb, to get some reverb sounds. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you know what this sounds like that I've made so you can see it. And I need to turn this on in my ears. And I'm going to turn it up for you. So what you're hearing right now is the synth doing its thing. It was doing it, but once it's on, it's doing its thing. But I can control it. So this here is the clock, which controls the speed. So I can make this go faster. Or I can slow it down. This is my reverb, so I can change how much reverb is on there and what that sounds like. That's more reverb. Or I can make it totally dry. Now if I go to the plucking sound, so I can make it damper, give it a bit more fullness. I can really make it very short. I can make it fuller. I like it there. I can change its pitch where it's starting. I can change how it goes through the sequencer. But also, this random module, which is triggering right now, I have it triggering at a steady rate, but I can also have it trigger not steadily. So that's just one sound that you can make out of it, right? But I can't. That's using. Let me slow that down. Now that's just using the plug. Now I also have a kick. So this is a kick sound, and I can change its tone. Go here. Now really what I think I should do with this is actually put it through a filter so that I can get a really good so same trigger. This thing. Let me put this through. Filter here. Then let me so I've just put it through a low pass filter so I can get it sounding a bit. Let's see. So anyhow, that's my lunchbox. And I've got a couple other sounds in there that I can mess around and like play with and grab things in there and make them do stuff. But like, you know, that's the other thing I was what I might be able to do is, let's see. What I might be able to show you is, now this one here is called a VCO. It's a voltage control oscillator, and it has different sort of like bass sounds. If I pull this, go, I need all of these. I really are going here. What I want is going what I need actually is an envelope, but all right, I got this. Here you go. So this is a triangle wave. Now I've got it going through my filter. So I can change its tone. There, I muted it for myself. Okay. Now, this is of course way more limited, right, as an instrument than the full-on behemoth right there. Woohoo! No, over here. Whoop. Right. This clearly, it has like, this has eight little modules, whereas this has got many more modules. Like I only have 3 sounds in this one at the moment, and I've got, well, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 main oscillators, and then I've got some noise generators, a bunch of filters. So like there's like a lot more here than there is in this. But this is a neat little thing, and you can add modules to this to get different sounds or different filters, delays or different effects that you can then move in there and like mess with it some more. So that's like, I think that's pretty cool. That said, let me turn you off. Not that, you know, not it. I just wanted to show you my new little thing because I am making some music for Lindy for her Call of Cthulhu game that I need to go and craft some sounds for. Lunchbox in front of the cafeteria. So many jumper cables. And what's cool about this, right, is that if I want to, I can just plug my headphone in. I need to get a different module, like an attenuator module. Don't worry about it. But I could just take this to school with me, plug in my headphones, and then mess with it. Like if I'm on break, if it's like lunchtime and I want to like play a little bit of music, I can just take this with me, boop, doop, doop, and work on sounds while I'm going. And there are a bunch of really cool folks on YouTube who have these like lunchtime jam sessions where they just like take out their little lunchbox, and then they wrong camera, sorry. Where they take out their little lunchbox and then they just, play some stuff. And I just find that very exciting. I'm super excited about it. So I thought I'd share it with you. I do want to get a couple of modules, mainly because here's the thing. This is way more practical to take here. There you go, right? This is way more practical to take with me on the go than this. This is awesome, but it does take up a bit more space. I will note that I just got some carrying bags for my big monster modular. So if I need to do another gig like I did last month, it'll be much easier for me to carry them with. Although I'd have to separate the two halves, which is always a little bit of a bummer, because if you separate the two halves, that means you're going to have to unplug all the things, which means I would have to reprogram the synth when I get to, like, if I were going to go to a club to do a gig and I wanted to have this with me to do some stuff, and I wanted to take it in the gig bags, I'd have to separate the two halves, put them in, go to the club early, and then reprogram it. I'd have to probably like make a diagram of everything I did. And it'll never be the same sound. You can never get the same sound twice. It's just the way these things work. And I would just have to reprogram. I'd have to get to the club early. I'd have to be able to reprogram this to get the sound that I was hoping for. It won't be the same, but close enough. And then I could go on the gig. But I did get some carrying cases so that I can carry those easier. But if I want to do things just like a little bit faster and less stressful, I can just take my little lunchbox with me. It does need to be expanded a little bit, but I would need it needs to be expanded a little bit. I'd need a couple other things to make that really sing, but then I got it, which I'm really excited about. Now, what about wiring it into a cigar box guitar? Well, what you would probably want, Vulpes, hey Zanzibar, is a, okay, well, Vulpes, now I need to tell you a thing, and you started it. Zanzibar, you did miss the synth. I just finished showing you my synth. I just finished, I played a sequence that I had going on, which I will have to, redo and all that, but you just missed it. Sorry. I'm the worst. I know it. Oh. What about a medium clamshell storage box, which is padded for the big one? You could cut the padding into the shape of the synth. Oh, could do. Then I wouldn't have to unplug everything, which would be nice. Also, by the way, I am not getting this audio. Oh, because it's just low. Got it. Boom. Here. Oh, too high for me. I didn't change your volume. I changed mine. There we go. So we're going to start playing the Disco Elysium while we talk about stuff. Music. Like a medium clamshell storage box, which is padded. That would be pretty good. Yeah. I think so. Okay, so let me tell you. I like to do a lot of like individual shaping, not just sequences. So having a bit more flexibility is pretty good. Hawkeye, I'm glad that you're done with work. Or if you want to go big time, a Pelican case. Those are, oh, yeah. I have to tell you, I did something bad. It's not really bad, but I'm very excited by it. I need to tell you. So, we're back here for a second. I know. But look, here's what I need to tell you. If you notice, you can't see it very well. Hold on. Okay. Right there, that is the a port for a MIDI cable. And what does that port do? So you know how I was having the sequencer. This is my sequencer here, and there was my little sequencer in the little lunchbox. So you can have the sequencer. What the sequencer does is it puts out a trigger, and the trigger will tell wherever you plug this into to sort of make a sound every moment. So this goes automatically. It goes. It does its thing. Makes sounds. Great. But this here allows me to plug in. It's a MIDI cable. It allows me to plug into something, which most people will use a keyboard. Like I actually have a keyboard right next to it. So I can hit a key on the keyboard and it'll trigger one of those things. Or if you have like there's like keyboards or people will have little pads, you'll hit little pads and it'll trigger stuff, right? Because if I want to like trigger a sound, I can just like boop, hit the key. But so I need to tell you something. It's really important. There's this thing that I've wanted for a really, really long time, like a really long time. Okay, rewind. The other thing I need to tell you is I do not tend to spend money on myself, and I don't tend to buy big things. I'm like, oh, I need a wig for a show. I'll get one that costs $20. That's cool. Or I need this thing. I tend to like do not spend a lot of money on things because I did not grow up with money, so I still don't spend money on things. Most expensive things I have are like this was like $1,500, which is like, oh, a lot for me. Or like my computer, things like that. But those are all things I need for work. So I don't tend to just spend money on myself. It's just not a thing I tend to do. Volpez. So this is what happened. So Volpez asked the question, but I cannot answer it. I got to give you the lead up to the story. So the lead up to the story is this. I have an electric banjo. You can see it right over there. It's right over there. That's my electric. There. My electric, my acoustic. But the thing is that I always wanted a MIDI banjo. A banjo where you can plug in a MIDI cable and then plug into this. And then you could play the banjo and have the banjo trigger the synth, the modulars. Right? That would be really cool. But also, there's some modules that I do not have that I would like to get that I could actually place. Let me move this. Pardon me. Right here. So if you notice, there's a row here of modules. There's a row here of modules. There's a row here of modules, and this is actually has nothing on it. This is actually a row. I could put more modules on there. So if I got like modules, I could add it to this one, right, or the little one. But I could, for example, get a sampler module, place it in here or in the little one, and then I could trigger samples, right, from the banjo itself, or a keyboard or whatever it is. I could do all sorts of things if I could plug a banjo. If I had a MIDI banjo where it would like put out MIDI data, I could do all sorts of really cool things with it. And there was one company, that made MIDI banjos, Neckville. And when I was in Atlanta, I was like, oh, I want to go get this. You know, I never get anything for myself. I want to go get this MIDI banjo. Let me go do it. And it's also still for work. So I contacted Neckville and they said, yes, you can get one. That's really great. I was like, I'm so excited. And they said it'll take about a year to make it. And I was like, oh man. Or it wasn't gonna be a year, it's gonna be like 5-6 months maybe. And I thought, oh, 5-6 months I'll be in the middle of moving back to Massachusetts, and that's pretty awkward. So I said, you know what? I'll just wait until I get back to Massachusetts, and then I will go and order this banjo. So I waited. I got back to Massachusetts, and when I got back to Massachusetts and I contacted the company again, they said we're no longer making MIDI banjos. We have electric banjos, and I was like, I have electric banjo, and nobody's making MIDI banjos, and they stopped making them, and I was very sad because I have an electric already, but I wanted a MIDI banjo so I could like plug it into the synth and do really cool things with it. And I was like, well, I'll never get it now. I'll be sad forever. That's what I learned. And then I was just doing some more research on electrics, and the electric banjo I have over there is a hollow bodied. It's not completely hollow bodied, but it has like a hollow resonating chamber, and it is a powered pickup. It's not a passive; it's an active pickup. And I was thinking, you know what? Neckville does have a solid body. This is a Deering, has a solid body electric with a passive pickup. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I could get that. Maybe I'll just go and so I have like two different electric banjos, and I could do different things with it. Maybe I'll just go do that. So I messaged Neckville, and I was like, I'm looking for to get this meteor, da da da. And the problem, Zanzibar, is electric to MIDI converters are often not very good, right? They often don't because the problem is that MIDI is not necessarily made for stringed instruments as well. It doesn't always pick up. It doesn't always pick up, like the tracking is not always particularly good. So I called them. I just was like, well, you know what? I want to get this different banjo electric. So I called them and I was like, I want to get this electric banjo you got because it's completely solid body. And then I got a phone call from the president of the company. He's like, hey, how you doing? I was like, oh my gosh, it's Tom Neckville. How are you doing? He's like, I heard you want to get this electric banjo. I was like, yeah, I do. He's like, I'm here to like ask you about like how you want to customize it. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm really sad because what I really wanted was a MIDI banjo, but like a MIDI electric, but you don't make those anymore. And he's like, yeah, that's right, we don't. And I was like, yeah, that's what I really wanted. He's like, well, I can make you one. I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, I can make you one. And I was like, could I get that solid bodied electric with the MIDI pickups? And he's like, yeah, that would probably be really good. Yeah, let's do it. So he's going to make me not the old MIDI style that they used to have, but this other one with the completely solid body. He's going to make me a MIDI banjo. And it just so happened that he happened to call me, and I was like, I was so sad I can't. He's like, oh, I'll make that for you. So he's going to make me. And it's going to take 5 months, but in maybe 5 months' time, 5 or 6 months' time, I'm going to be able to have a MIDI banjo. I'm going to need to get a new module to plug in here because it uses a very special particular kind of MIDI converter that I need a slightly different plug for this. But in 5 or 6 months' time, I'm going to have a MIDI banjo. I'm going to need a new module to plug right into this. And then I'm going to be able to plug my banjo into this synthesizer, and I'm going to be able to play really weird things I'm able to control this synthesizer from my banjo. I need you to know that is going to happen. And I am so excited because nobody else is making them. I thought I wouldn't be able to do it. And it just so happens, I was like, yeah, I want I want this one and I'll be fine. And he's like, oh, well, wait, I can build that in. And here's the very cool thing. Yeah, seriously, he's going to do it for me. It's just a different part. 5 months is nothing. It's nothing at all. Springtime MIDI banjoing will be a great time. Oh, it will. Probably will happen in the summer. Yep. Hey, that sounds like a fun project. That's exactly what it is. And so Zanzibar, what's really cool about the pickup that I'm going to get, and this is like why it's actually different. If you get an actual sort of MIDI guitar or MIDI banjo versus just a converter, is that what a converter will do is take whatever the note is that it hears. Like, let's say it hears a C. It's like, oh, that's a C, and it'll convert it into a MIDI signal. But now, I'm going to just tell you how cool this is. What I'm getting, because it's actually going to be built as a MIDI instrument. You know how a guitar or a banjo has got like a bridge and it's got 5 or 6 strings? So if you get the kind of what they're using a special kind of MIDI pickup that's built into the bridge itself. So it's actually not one MIDI pickup. It's actually for this it'll be 5. It'll be 5 different MIDI pickups, one for each string. So it will be able to send out a signal letting you know, oh, I played the C on the 5th string, or I played the C on the 4th string, or the 1st string. So it's not just, oh, that's that pitch. It's, oh, it's this string and this part of the string. So I could have, for example, a different sound set to the first string than the fifth string. I could have, for example, only the upper notes, like right by the bridge, could be like sound samples. I could have like drum sounds high up on only a couple of strings on the banjo and then other weird things on the bottom. So I could have like maybe a very banjo sound here, but then I could come up here and tap samples of people's voices or whatever. So because it's a pickup per string, I actually have a lot more flexibility and the tracking's better. So I can have, I could do all sorts of things, right? Because it's much more precise. It's a much more precise sort of conversion. And I can't even imagine the things I can do with that. Like oh, sorry, I'm getting a little mad scientist right now about it because I don't have it yet. It'll be 5 months, like probably at the end of the spring semester. This banjo is going to come in, and it's going to be like a. I didn't go super fancy with the customization because I was like, I do not need to spend, because I'm very loath to spend money on myself. That's just really what it comes down to. But it's gonna be it's gonna be pretty. It's gonna be pretty. It's gonna be a really pretty banjo, and it'll have both an electric out and an acoustic and a MIDI out, so that I can either use it like as a MIDI controller for like all that, or I can also just plug it into an amp like a regular electric. And I don't know if you know, but I'm so excited. I imagine much post-grading noodling on the new toy. Oh yeah. Once I don't know when exactly it's going to come in. I've already put the down payment down, but he's now making it. He's now out off uh making it himself. That's what he's doing. He is in the process of building this instrument for me, and I thought I would never get one. I thought that what I would have to do is make do with an electric to MIDI converter, which would not allow me to sort of customize per string, or and I'd have to worry about like the tracking. There's some stuff there. There's some electric to MIDI converters that are pretty decent, but it still won't give you per string distinction. But now I could do like so. I mean, I could control pitch with one. I could control uh, volume with another. I could control filters with another string. I could have like I could have you don't even know. I don't even know. I could have like all sorts of really. I can't talk about how excited I am right now about this because I'm really excited about this. And I feel like it will not be useful to keep telling you how excited I am because I'm very excited and I cannot wait to noodle with it. Uh, Very much. It sounds like, oh, Zanzibar. Look, once I get it this summer, I'm going to become the director of undergraduate studies this summer. I've been tapped to do another. A couple of years ago, as the director of graduate studies, and now I'm going to be the director of undergraduate studies. So, and that's probably going to hit middle of the summer. So I'm going to be really busy next year. For the next 3 years, I'll be really, really busy doing all this undergraduate stuff. It's a lot. It's going to eat into my time. So I'm going to try to make the most of our time together, especially with my new banjo in the summer before everything kicks off uh, in July. I'm so excited, Roller, and I just can't hide it. That's it. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So, yep. Hey, that sounds like a fun project. Yeah. I didn't even think of using it to sub in synth sounds. I was just thinking along the lines of modulating. No, can you imagine? You can Zanzibar. Think about it, right? What I'm thinking. I'm going to tell you. This is my vision, and then right. The reason why we're not actually just wandering around in Disco Elysium just yet is because I have to talk to this guy, and I know talking to him, he's going to tell me a story, and you know, here we'll just
Tequila sunset.
all right. So now we'll tell him stories. Okay, so think about this: if I get a per string and even like a per zone sort of controllability, what I'm thinking is what I want to be. Because here's the thing: I actually do a lot. I like to do a lot. When I got my undergraduate degree in composition, and I really like to merge acoustic and electric sounds. But when you're doing it live by yourself, it's a lot of things all to hang out all at once. So it's like a lot of things. So if I really like to have sound samples, especially like voices, or I had this one piece that had like a sounds of traffic. I went out, like I got my hand recorder and I recorded the sounds of traffic. And so I used like filtered sounds of that traffic that I would trigger in as I was singing and playing the banjo over it. But this means I can actually just do it all from the banjo itself. Like I could have the the upper part, the upper part of the banjo and the upper strings. I could have different samples, right? I could have like one note on the fifth string. So think about this: 5 strings, right? I could have 5 different samples that I either trigger, loop, unloop, or stop playing 4 frets. The top 4 frets, I could have each string be a different one. And since I'm usually not playing those frets, like those upper frets, for melodically every once in a while, right? So I could have like a bunch of like stuff going down here. I could have like banjo sounds. I could have synth sounds. But then up here, I could trigger like the sound of a door slam, or like the sounds of traffic coming in, or like the sounds of like crying, or like a speech from the 1890s or whatever it is. So I could have all these really, and I could loop it or unloop it. I could have these things come in to sort of like work in, because I really like to have sort of found sounds to come in to sort of help make the piece. So I could be doing all of that, and rather than, especially because a foot pedal, like I've got a good foot pedal, but it only has 5 pedals, right? With this, I have got a huge number of things I can trigger. I can trigger stuff like in and out. Plus, I also am trained in Maximus P, which is like a computer-based language. So I could plug my banjo into my computer now, just directly into the computer as a data signal, and I could actually control. I could probably actually split it, but then I could through a box. But then I could control some computer-based. What you do with Maximus P is you actually create sounds yourself through the program, like you very individually like build things together. So I could build kind of slightly complicated soundscapes in Maximus P and then trigger various elements of it from the banjo, but like let's say only certain parts of the banjo. So I could be playing down here, da 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 da, boop, hit a thing, da 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 da, and then I can just basically shape, and that's just to like trigger sound worlds. I can then also use like a modulation wheel to sort of just like shape it itself. Like the kinds of things that I could do, right? Imagine like strange, yeah, yeah, yeah. I, right now I'm imagining. So I cannot tell you. I'm not telling you. Don't listen. But I'm making a new piece for Lindy for DJ Yakamama. I've got to get it to her by Monday. Hey, Anarch Debbie. So I did one piece for Lindy as DJ Yakumama for her Call of Cthulhu game, which was the concept was like the rainforest. And the next piece, secret, don't tell anyone, is going to be about the whales, saving the whales. You know, gotta save the whales. It's 1986. So I've got a bunch of whale song that I've like, recordings of whale song, which I'm in the process of chopping up and shaping. And what I want to do is sort of take some of these whale song sounds and make craft like a sound on either one of those two that sounds almost the same as the whale song but is electronic. And then what I want to do is basically sort of merge the whale song and the electronic sounds together, because this is echo techno, right? This is 1986 echo techno. So I'm going to sort of build in a kind of a wet, organic, but also electronic sound that's going to be merging the kind of dolphins are a little bit dolphin clicks can be a little bit creepy. So like dolphin clicks, whale song with an electronic sounds that are very similar to those things that are going to be merging in and out and like rubbing up against each other. And if I wanted to perform this live, if I had my MIDI banjo, it would be much easier to perform this live because I'd be able to sort of bring things in and out and layer them the way I want without having, because a banjo's like this without, and I have picks on, right? So without having to like go and do a lot of things. I mean, I still will do things with my feet, but it's not always easy when you've got this instrument right in front of you to then do like a bunch of keyboard based stuff. So either piano keyboard or computer keyboard stuff. So having that MIDI banjo will allow me to actually do a lot of the things that I do here live. So if I wanted to perform live out and about, I could do that much easier if I had this sort of MIDI controller banjo. And I am so excited. Yeah. Trooper trying for something between 4AD and Wyndham Hill. Yeah, right? Like it's a yeah. hmm Also, Volpez, I can't believe you brought up Windham Hill. Oh, yep. Uh, yeah, Echo Techno sounds cool. You made One Piece. Is it Rio? I didn't make One Piece. Yeah. For some reason, that Lunchbox tune you composed reminds me of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. So anyway, I just wanted you to know that I I cannot believe that I'm going to get a MIDI banjo. I was like, oh, well, I guess I never will now because they were the only company making them. Or if I'm going to want to do that, I'm going to just have to go with like a kind of a solution that's not going to be the best solution. It'll be a little weak and it'll probably miss trigger and be a little bit weird, but I guess. And then I'm going to get it, and I'm going to be able to do like amazing things live. Because so here's the thing: there are a number of things that I can do in the studio. This is my studio. This is my streaming studio, but also my music studio. There are a bunch of things I can do not live, right? Just by layering things and sculpting them in my DAW and Logic, which is fine. But if I want to ever do it live, then I can't. Like then what you're because I don't want to just like record the track and then just press play. I want to be able to shape it live, you know. So with the right stuff, then I'll be able to shape it live, and I'm really really excited about it. How are you liking music in Disco Elysium? Oh, I am. I'm liking it quite a bit. It's got that kind of like epic sound, which I really appreciate. So here, nope, wrong one. Boop, boop. There we go. Uh, we're gonna listen to the guy tell us the story. We didn't do it last time because we didn't want to get we had to leave. But we're gonna listen to this guy's story. We've got some alcohol. We can give it to him. We'll hear his story, and then we'll find out. But I'm just so excited. I also do want to get a couple of modules for this little lunchbox to just expand it out a little bit. And I just got a mixer, like a. I'm a little old school, but also new school in that right now I've got my audio interface, but I just got a mixing board with with manual faders, like the actual faders that go up and down. Because for me, I think of the mixing board as like a live instrument where I like to be able to like fade things in and out the way I want. So for me, I want to be able to plug in a lot of these sounds into the mixing board, and then I can actually just bring them in and bring them out whenever I want. And that I can do with my left hand. Or if I'm playing the banjo, I'd have my mixer to the side, and I can have everything going through it, and then I can by hand shape fairly easily, shape and sculpt the sound, play, 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 bring things in, bring things out. Right. So I just got a new mixing board, so I'm very excited about that because I've not had yeah, did not have a mixing board, but it was Black Friday or Cyber Monday, whatever it was, and got one half off. I actually also got that half off. The little lunchbox, I got it half off, which I'm really excited about because I again am cheap. Not to my players. My players I will give them everything, but I'm a little bit cheap for myself. So I'm just really excited about this new mixing board that I have, which I have to set up somewhere, and all the stuff. And when I get stuff going on, I'll play for you. Yeah, I have a few favorites, but some haven't come up, and it has some scenes I wish to set up in actual tabletop to see what players would do. Ooh, oh, that's cool. Ooh, all right. So, uh, hey, sorry for being a buzzkill earlier. I'll supply the booze if you supply the stories.
Wonderful.
He claps his hands together. I'm gonna give him some Commodore Red.
Classy.
He snatches the bottle and pushes the cork in through the bottleneck. Well, he's planning on finishing that tonight.
Hey, Spiral Boy, you gonna share that?
I feel like you might need a bit more volume. So there you go. Giving you a bit more volume. Because it feels to me like you might need a bit more volume. That may not be true, but that's my feeling. I am looking for my volume. My volume and your volume are not the same, by the way. We don't have the same mix. Let's see. Oop. Y'all, hey. Gonna interrupt myself just 1 second. I want to thank you for letting me nerd out about synths with you. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate you letting me nerd out about my forthcoming MIDI banjo. I really appreciate that because really exciting to me. So I thank you for letting me nerd out about that with you. It is very exciting. That's what I have to say. I'm also thinking, side note, that I might get a second lunchbox, but without modules in it, just like a blank one. And what I might do is I might get the MIDI interface and put it in the lunchbox so that whether I'm taking lunchboxes on the road or I'm taking this on the road, that like I think what I'm going to do is sort of create. This one's got a lot of really cool sounds, but I think I might actually create a lunchbox that has got things that I might want to use either with this big one or the small one. And so I could have the big one plus basically like a utility lunchbox. I think I can put in the utility lunchbox like the MIDI interface for the guitar synth. I could probably put in a couple other things I would like to run through this. So I'm really excited about like getting just like a second sort of blank lunchbox, build some things in there that I can then use either like it's about flexibility. Yeah, so good. Are you planning to play Pentiment? Is it yet on Mac? I actually don't think it is on Mac yet, but what I'm going to just have to do is really get my parallels like that because I can run PC through an emulator. I just haven't done it yet, but I can, and I just need to do it because there's that one and there's one other one that I really want to run that's PC only. So it's gonna have to happen. Hey Artie, I'm doing very well. I was just bragging about the fact that I really got outrageous and I'm getting a banjo. My volume is a second printing circa 1873 from a small university press in an unheard of state of confusion. Ooh. Ooh. It would be interesting to find out Tripper's path as opposed to Hot Flakestrom. Inso. Oh, well, look. Hey, we're talking about how I'm going to play Pentiment. Penitent. Penitent. Pentiment. Penitent. Pentiment. Pentiment. Yes. You said our volume was not your... Oh, yes, that is true. My volume is not your volume. Your volume is from 1873. That's true. Yes. Mine actually is a zine. I don't even. Where's my cursor? There.
Don't call Abigail.
I know. Only the pentiment one shall pass.
Shut up, guys. I'm telling a story here.
Please.
Something happened to you. Something happened to me, too. My actual name is George. But around here, you already know.
They call you Idiot Doom Spiral. Yeah. Tom used to be a storyteller at Encounter. Oh, that's cool. I have a first printing of To Kill a Mockingbird. Someone is trying to sell an identical one for $10,000 at A-Books. Max! Sorry, Max, I'm sorry to yell at you. I'm not yelling because I'm mad. I'm yelling because I'm excited. A-Books, you know those places? You know, there's certain kind of places online where you can get out-of-print books. A-Books was, for the longest time, one of those places. I think it's been bought by Amazon, right? But there's also like ZVAB. There's a couple places like for like German books I can get stuff there. But there's was it a Libris? I think the places where I would go when I was like looking for like an out of print book, it would be Powell's, A-Books, and I think a Libris was the other, and then ZVAB, depending if it's European. Were the four websites I would go to find out of print stuff because there are a lot of out of print books that I want to get my hands on for research purposes. Yeah. But in Hebrew it starts with a Y. I think that is it. It's too long since I've seen it. Yeah, I've got a lot of places to go for out of books. Oh, do you? Well, Max. You should share them.
I was once a reasonably high net worth individual, a founder/junior partner at a high concept creative services agency. When my story begins, I had just landed a major contract with an insurance firm.
Max, you should drop those links. Drop the links in our book musings because I always love a place to look for out of print books. I just actually put in an order for an out-of-print book. What was it? Yeah, so, I got it from ZVAB because it's a German volume that is a collected volume of some German stuff, and I had to get it from there. But if you've got place links, share.
I
Go on.
use the profits from my agency to finance what I call a cultural incubator. Abstract value generation, value per person, high concept stuff.
Sounds a little bogus, but go on. A-books, thrift books, Elibris. I didn't know thrift books.
I developed the paradigm, worked within the paradigm, but the burden of leadership weighed heavily on me. So I went jogging every so often to keep myself sane.
Uh-huh.
That's right. Getting a good run-in is important to maintaining your physical and mental health. Speaking of, when's the last time you did your laps, pork chop?
Physical instrument, you need to relax. Wait. How many people did you have working for you?
22 full-time employees, an all-star team, a potentially historical set of individuals. Worrying about them often kept me up well into the morning hours.
Did the jogging help?
It did. With my trusty Sansarique tracksuit, I felt like I could conquer the world.
Mm-hmm.
But now dreams are worn thin, much like my tracksuit.
He says thoughtfully, brushing dust off his shit-stained pants. Quick aside. I need to brag. Do you mind? I need to brag about my students, how great they are. Max Ryder says, oh! One moment. Sorry, I have to brag, but I have to show you something else. Wait. I've been saving up. I've been saving up for you all for this Thursday stream because I got something in the mail. 2 things I got in the mail, and I wanted to show you, but I also have to brag about my students and how cool they are. So give me a second. Wait. Also, Max Ryder reminded me. I only remembered because Max told me. Because I saw Max's name, and then I thought, oh, I should tell Max. Max, you reminded me of this thing. So, I have to tell you something. So excited. Sorry, it's been a while, I feel like. This is the thing I wanted to tell you because of Max, but I should tell you this first, as we get ready. I don't know if we're ready for Disco Elysium cosplay. Hey, I could do it. I got a copy of The Black Hole. Actually, answers a lot of questions about the movie so far. Oh, I know that movie. I liked that movie when I was a kid. Like, if the Palomino was heading home, why were they not going faster than light? Because they'd stopped switch the course. Oh! Ooh! That sounds really good. Show and brag, do tell. Why do I think you were supposed to get that tracksuit? Maybe. And actually says, Pentiment, I think, is one of my favorite pieces of historical fiction. I really need to play it. It really shows you are able to make engaging, interesting fictions without outright making stuff facts up like some recent historical documentary films are doing nowadays. You know, the thing is, I don't mind if you make things up if you're obvious, and I don't like if you make things up because you're being lazy. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like if you're doing something that's, like, thoughtful and intentional, that could be cool, but I think people make things up because they're being lazy. And that is not the same thing. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Everything should be, like, I feel like just be intentional. I like the Black Hole too, though the ending, yeah. You could do it, sure, but the real question is whether you should. Yeah. I got my copy of Alone Against the Static yesterday, going to run on Saturday. Oh. I don't think I have Alone Against the Static yet. I need to get that. I need to make a note. Hold on. Now you started. I'd have to go and put this down. So I don't think I have it. Alone Against the Static. When did it come out? It just came out, right? Just like a couple days ago? Right? Yes, right? Yeah, I think it just came out, right? Just like 6 days ago? 6, 7, 8 days ago? Last week? I want to watch you play the dog walker. Yeah, last Monday. So I don't have it yet, but now my tab is up. Okay, so I kickstarted. Do you remember? I don't know if you remember, but I played The Zone on stream. And I kickstarted it, and wait, it has arrived. So The Zone is this very cool GM-less card-based RPG all about mutating your body, and everyone but one PC will die. We all know that from the beginning. This is a thing that is just going to happen. People are going to die because only one person makes it to the end. But if your PC dies, it doesn't mean you're out of the game. It means that you become the zone. Right. Eyes are laser instantly trying to, yeah, both of those things, right? Book of Mutations, Book of Twists. Very cool cards, right? Scenes. Ooh, caught it. Fate, not good fate. Usually death. Don't worry about it. And then, like your like secret cards. So I'm very excited about this because I had such a good time playing it, and I'm really excited to play it again. Perhaps in a slightly different format, but kind of like Bluebeard's Bride. No, a little bit different than Bluebeard's Bride because in Bluebeard's Bride, each one of you is a manifestation of like is all the same person, and you may not all die. Like at the end of the game, you all find out together whether or not somebody dies, and if you shatter as one of the personalities, you don't become the enemy. You are now working to further the aims of the enemy. But in this one, if your PC dies, you sort of start taking on. You actually just your character's dead. Your character's dead, but then you start controlling things in the environment. It's pretty cool. So very excited. But that wasn't the thing that made me remember that I needed to show you something. That was Max Rider is what that was. Max reminded me. Kind of like my niece asked for a Ouija board for Christmas. Ooh, my own place is kind of... Well, you know, Ouija boards, that's just like that movie Witchboard with Tawny Katane from the 80s. High quality. Or maybe not so high quality, but that's not really the point, I think. Yes, when it's obvious and creators are being cheeky, I think it's fine, yes. But most creators aren't doing that, really. Personally, I don't think it's laziness most of the time, but reinforcing outdated and harmful... Yeah. I try to give people... Oh, yes, Krillin, yeah. I try to give people... By the way, we're going to do a giveaway. Our giveaway is going to be Disco Elysium, because I have a code for it. So if you are interested in getting Disco Elysium, just make sure you say something in the next 5 minutes. And then after this show and tell, I will pick a winner for Disco Elysium. Yes, when it's obvious creators are being cheeky, I think it's fun, yeah. I still prefer cooperative games over competitive games. Yeah, I don't think of... I would consider... The Zone not a competitive game, but more like a really RP heavy. It's an RPG. It's one of these like story RPGs. It's just that in the story, you know that only one of the PCs is going to make it to the end. But and you know that each somebody's going to die, and you also know when it's going to happen. Like there's certain like spots you're like, in this scene, someone's going to die. You pull the card and find out who it is, and somebody could like take your death from you. They could be like, no, I will sacrifice myself so that you don't die. But basically, yeah, it's quite it was good. Not from Hasbro. Oh yeah. Weren't they made by FTR? I don't have to pay for Disco Elysium. I would probably take and play Disco Elysium. So yeah, it's actually very interesting because you basically it's like follow a loop, right? There's like it's so the idea in this zone is that there's a zone, like basically this one town, like some kind of metaphysical force, like a dome, but sort of covers this town, and the government is like quarantine, right? And no one can really nobody knows what's happening in that town. And there have been like sightings of strange mutated people or things coming out, and people hearing voices of people who are trapped in there, and you don't know what's in there. And each person, everyone who's a player, there's no GM, right, is a volunteer to go into this zone where this town was to try to figure out what's going on. And each person has a secret reason why they want to go into this place and why they can't ever come back and what they want. And it is rumored that if you make it to the center of the zone, you can have a wish fulfilled. That's the rumor. Is it true? You'll have to find out. But as you go through, each of the players will like take turns. Like they give you things like they'll say like the hospital, like there's like maybe there's a card that's the hospital that you get. But what the hospital is like, what kind of hospital it is, the player who is like with each card, with each place within the zone, you rotate who's going to be the main director for that particular place. And so if like it's my turn, I'll be like, okay, well this hospital is like a 1950s insane asylum that is old and abandoned. But that was my idea of a hospital, right? And you tie it into people's backstories and stuff. And each location, a different person will sort of start, and then we go through these scenes. And you happen to know that in certain scenes, certain cards, when you get there, as you spiral, right? Like you place basically kind of place like a doom card on these various locations, and so that at the very end, only one person will be there. And what's interesting is I believe, if I remember correctly, that the people who died, whose characters died, vote in the end based on how much stuff has happened to them, whether or not the final person, the final girl, gets their wish or not, right? So there's a lot of like kind of interesting, it's a very storytelling, it's very cool. Artie, wasn't the premise of a TV show that didn't last long? Yeah, it's a little different though, because that was like some weird dome that protected everybody in the town. This is like some kind of weird force field that like makes things weird. Yeah. Someday I hope to use it in a Call of Cthulhu game. Oh, nice. Are the Dragon Balls at the center? Yes. Yep. So, I got this in the mail. I open it up, and there's a letter. What does it say? There's an invoice, and it's typed up, billing and shipping, and I have some things. All right. If there are any questions, please. Yes, all right. It's lovely. What are you saying, Max? What is? There's a box in here. What is this box? Arkham Investigator's wallet. The Arkham Investigator's wallet. Whether you're a keeper or an investigator, the Arkham Investigator's wallet will take you deeper into any Call of Cthulhu game set in or around Arkham. Maybe it's in your character's pocket. Or maybe you're using it to identify someone else. This genuine leather wallet is loaded with over 40 realistic vintage prop documents, faux money, metal coins, and a real vintage key. Arkham-oriented game, you can use the contents of the wallet for any Arkham-oriented game. But to start off, we're including one specifically designed for it. The Dog Walker. So here is, I have a wallet that is designed to go with a particular solo adventure, so here's this is, by the way, in case you want to know, this is from Gleason's department store. When you get a nice wallet from a nice department store, of course, comes in a very nice box. There's a user guide, which should be read first, which I definitely will. And then, of course, we have a nice wallet and nice tissue paper. Oh, look at this, an automobile bail bond certificate. Oh, that's nice. I'm glad to know my automobile is all right. Oh, it's paid. That's nice. Oh, okay, that's great. I have, and what is this? This is, what is this? An operator's license. New York Bureau of... Oh, this is it's my driver's license. Oh! Or maybe it's not mine, but it's somebody's driver's license. Bureau of Motor Vehicles. Awesome. I'm not going to unwrap this because I'm supposed to read that other thing first. That's what they said. So check it out. There's a lovely user's guide that will tell me something. But look at this. Check it out. Arkham Leather. So I have been, you don't know this about me, but you know, City of Light and Shadow. There are things that I want to do when I actually turn this into an RPG, and I have been scoping various Etsy stores for props for a while, and I found things. And here is the Dog Walker. Scenario in 1920s Arkham by Sean Branney for Call of Cthulhu, and the Arkham Investigator's wallet prop set. So there's an entire adventure that is keyed to that prop, which I'm very excited about. And so apparently there are going to be clues in here, which is very cool. And this is... And you can play it solo. This doesn't... It can be either done as a group or solo. So what I feel like is that there's going to be a solo adventure with the Dog Walker and that very cool prop set coming sometime to a theater near you. But like... I'll just have to figure out where to get the PDF of it as well. So anyhow, how cool is that? How cool is that? So excited. The PDF is the solo one. Okay, I'll just have to find it. Jealous could not justify the expense. Rissa, there was a... I got it because it was I had like a 20% off discount coupon for Cyber Monday, and I was like, 20%, 25%. I was like, I will get it. Yeah. I'm so excited. Yeah. Okay, so don't look too close at your plate. I will not. Oh, that's bigger than I thought. I thought it was Crackerjack. I think the Dog Walker is amazing. There should be a link to the PDF of the solo scenario in there. The beauty part is they worked with Chaosium, so the places in the Dog Walker are actually from Arkham Unveiled. Ooh. The Read This First should have the link to the PDF. What I love is the regular scenario for the Dog Walker tells you everything. Most of those scenarios, you can't learn much. Okay, I very much look forward to you playing the Dog Walker. I think you'll do it justice. Okay. I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited. So, by the way, we're going to find out who wins a copy of Disco Elysium right now. Nightbot? Anarch Dovey! Anarch Dovey, guess what? You won Disco Elysium. How does that make you feel? You know I have to actually pull up... By the way, I need to get Alone Against the Static, and I also need to get The Wrath of the Ancients for no particular reason. Oh no! Okay, wait. Hold on. If you've already gotten it, then we're gonna do another giveaway. Yeah. Rissa! Error retrieving follower status. What is that about? Hey, Rissa. I bet you don't have Disco Elysium. You want it? You want it? Because I can just send it to you right now. This moment, as we are speaking. Rissa says, I don't have it, but I think you are very kind. Krellin, I'm going to send you a message. I'm going to send you a whisper right now. I'm sending you a whisper. Boom. I have sent you the whisper. The disco whisper. Okay, so now. What a great stream already. You know, you ever sit there and you're streaming and you're like, oh, this is a great stream. It's just... Okay. So yeah, we're gonna be doing the dog walker. I need to tell you things later when we're like on our way out of the stream because I've got news for you all. So what happened?
One day I left on my evening run. As you may know, it's impossible to clear your head when you're distracted by the sound of keys jangling in your pockets.
He shakes the bottle and makes a ringing sound.
His eyes are clouded.
Oh yeah,
His
you're right.
dilated blood vessels encircling
Thank
his
you.
irises like stinging brambles. His eyes are your eyes.
My morale's great. I need more physical health, but that's cool.
So I removed the key ring and put the keys for the front gate and the apartment into different pockets to stop the jangling, you see? At least, that was the plan.
Go on.
I was halfway done with my usual lap when it started to rain. The reality situation became very wet, very quickly.
How wet are we talking about? Exactly.
It was a day not unlike this one here.
Go on.
I made my way back home and discovered that I didn't have the key to the front gate. I'd mixed it up with the key to the letterbox, which was useless.
Oh, I will brag. I'm going to brag.
Naturally, the situation required me to climb over the gate, which I did. There was no climbing down because I slipped and landed on my ass.
I'm going to say nothing.
Reality was looking rather grim just then. Me lying on my ass in a mud pit in the middle of a heavy shower. But when life knocked me down, I always got up.
Continue.
So I made my way across the yard. Standing in front of my apartment door, fumbling with my pockets, I realized that I'd also forgotten my apartment key.
So here's the thing about that. As a kid, I was always really good at climbing things. And I remember if my folks like forgot their key, they'd like boost me up and I just climb through windows and open the door. It's a thing. So we have a brag. I'm teaching a brand new seminar this semester, just finished. Although final papers and final projects are not finished yet. Ludomusicology, so games and sound and music. And I gave them the option of either doing a final research paper or a game that would have to incorporate sound in some way. And I got 2 final papers, and if they did the game, they could collaborate with other students. And I got 2 final papers and 2 games. And I have to tell you, the games that my students made are very cool. They're very, very cool. One is like a visual novel with that's like you are a college student who wants to make, who's a first-year college student who doesn't know anybody and who wants to make a band, right? So you have to go through the music building and like meet different students and figure out if they'd be good for your band. And they all have different styles. That like maybe that's a heavy metal guitarist, maybe that's like a ska saxophone player. And there's a battle of the bands at the end, so you have to go through like a whole bunch of. They made like I don't know, like 20 to 40 different musicians, all with different styles, and you have to decide which ones you want to put in your band. And then when you put this band together, at the end you go to the battle of the bands, and they will. You will be judged based on how cohesive the band is or whatever. But they were very smart. They're like, we really wanted to sort of think about how judges are kind of rigid, and they may not like the band, but you might, right? And so they really did this thing where they've got like all these kind of different looping tracks that they layer together. So depending on how you put the band together, these things will sort of create a slightly different vibe, and it's very impressive. They did a great job, and they only had, again, right, like 7 weeks to make the game. And of course they can do more. They're like, we want to, if we had more time, we would do these things and these things, and they're turning in the final version on the 21st. And then the other game, I don't know if he polishes up, maybe I'll be able to go and actually play it online. But this one is actually, well, it would need some software stuff, but it's a circle singing game because he does circle singing. And it's about creation myths. It's about how you get a group of people and you're all going to basically sing the universe into existence and basically create a creation myth through singing in like a circle with like card prompts, and it's very cool. And if I could find a really good no latency program with people who don't mind doing circle singing, I would love to just stream it. Anyway, they did some really good things, and yeah, so we had the oral presentations on Wednesday, and they went really yesterday they went really well, and I'm really looking forward to the final projects on the 21st. And this is what teaching's all about. This is what it's all about. Very cool stuff. Yeah, that's my brag. That sounds great. I wonder if they could post it to itch.io to let others try. Oh, you know what? I will bring it up to them. I will bring it up to them because it's cool, right? And I am very proud of them. And of course tomorrow is Saturday, and I've got to do a bunch of grading tomorrow. I've got to grade their oral presentations and write up feedback and give it to them. And I've got I don't have a bunch of grading. I've got some grading that I just need to do tomorrow, so they'll have things to work on. And then the 21st, all the final stuff comes in after my grading. But I just wanted to let you know that my students just did some great stuff, and I'm so proud of them. And they were a team. They did the presentations were really good. I just wanted to say that my students were awesome. My students are so good, and people should be jealous of them. You've got to be shitting me. Not.
I wish I were, Tequila. I wish I were.
Oh yeah, right. Tomorrow is
Instead
Friday.
of my apartment key, I'd taken the key to the office.
You're right. Tomorrow is Friday. That's my mind. That was me. That's my bad. Not tomorrow, but the day after, because tomorrow is prep for the finale of The Gamblers, the season finale. So tomorrow is finale, is Gamblers prep. But once tomorrow is done, and I've got the season finale done, Saturday's gonna be grading. Yeah. Yes, it is the Drynax season finale. That is correct. I remembered that I needed to do game prep.
I rang my neighbor's buzzers. It was late, and most of them didn't even answer. Those who did assumed I was trying to sell them something and hung up before I could even explain the situation. People are naturally wary of ad men, you see. One moment someone chats you up, 5 minutes later you've bought a box of edible lingerie and a strap-on.
Oh.
I don't begrudge them, especially since I was known to be one of the best.
Okay. But as in, whoops, you piss off a preteen ruler. Oh, I don't think that's going to be the main problem tomorrow.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
We'll see.
Just then, I experienced a moment of clarity. I still had the key to my office. I could wait out the storm there.
Good idea.
But when I reached my office, I remembered that I'd asked one of my producers to change the locks that day. And since I hired only the best, he'd already done it, and I couldn't get in.
Go on.
Anyway, long story short, life spiraled out of control. I haven't gotten into my apartment for years, and my girlfriend left me because she didn't want to date a homeless man. The company, well, you see where I'm going with this.
I really feel like there was an easier answer for this.
So, now you've heard my tragic tale. What do you think? Like nothing you've ever heard, huh?
He takes a long swig of his drink. I really feel like this was avoidable. I also think that maybe that wasn't what happened. I feel like maybe it was other stuff like alcoholism. I don't know. I can't say for certain. You know you're in trouble and that's not even the main problem. Uh-huh. Max asked what I'm eating. So, a friend of mine recommended that I buy this cookbook, which is like the ultimate cookie cookbook, because it's not like just a cookbook of like, here's a bunch of recipes of cookies, which it is. But she said, oh, you'd really like this book because the first few chapters are all about like cookie theory. Like, well, if you add this rather than this, the cookies will look like this. If you do this versus it's like the science of cookies. So it teaches you the why and the how for all of these things, so that And it shows you pictures like this. If you use too much flour, this is what it looks like. If you use too little flour, this is what it looks like. So you get a really good sense of like how cookies are made on a like intellectual level, so that you can then and why are you supposed to chill the dough? Why do you do that? Why don't you? It's like, because I'm very much that kind of person that I need to know why things happen so I can figure things out. And it's a book that tells you the why for everything. And so I was making food the other day and I thought, oh, you know what? While I'm here and like I was making dough for like a little hand pie. Like, you know what? I should probably, yeah, maybe make cookies. So I've got these chocolate chips. So I was like, let me go and look. And here's the thing, I forgot that the chocolate chip cookie recipe, it's my first time making anything from the book. The chocolate chip cookie recipe needs you to chill it in the refrigerator for 24 to 72 hours. And I thought, I do not want to wait 24 to 72 hours for this cookie dough to chill. But there was a recipe for peanut butter chocolate chip cookies, and that did not need to be chilled at all. And so that is what I made. So that was a peanut butter chocolate chip cookie, and it's quite good, quite good. Oh, I should drop the ISB, and I will. I will. You know what? One moment, if you don't mind. 1 second. Give me a second. I'm back. Wait. Now I'm back. Okay. The less disgusting version of medical textbooks have pictures. Yeah, no, it's so cool. So this is it. Wait. This is it. The Ultimate Cookie Handbook, your guide to baking perfect cookies every time. It's very, very cool because it talks about, they said that one of the things that you should do is get an oven thermometer, put it in your oven, and actually just test they tell you how to test what your actual oven heat is so that you can actually do this properly. And it talks about like it's I gotta tell you, so check it out. This is your baking sheet comparison chart, right? So here you have, this is what your cookies will look like with an air pan, a non-stick cookie sheet, a Walmart budget pan, ceramic lined, unlined aluminum, gold non-stick, and then of course what the bottoms, what the bottoms of them look like, right? So she talks about every element, baking sheets, measuring cups, like not just like the cookies themselves, but like digital scales, cooling racks, like all the little elements of the spatulas of the thing, what you have, and then she gives you all sorts of tips, right? Oh, check this out. She talks about flour. This is cool. This is like your control cookie. This is a cookie if you have too much flour in it. And then she talks about weights for like 1 cup of all-purpose flour is 127 grams. But 1 cup of cake flour is 113 grams. So she gives you all that information so that you know how much, if you want to get like specific and detailed, right? So she gives you all this information. She gives you check this out. Oven temperatures, right? This is 350 degrees. That's 225. And that is 375, right? So you've got like, so cool, right? And this is where you place it in the oven, top rack, middle rack, bottom rack. Like, I'm telling you, this has got, then she talks about how to store your cookies. She talks about how what you should probably do is when you make cookie dough, actually make multiple batches and then just freeze it so that you don't have to, you because it'll last for X amount of time. So you can make like a half batch of cookies, and then you still have a bunch of cookie dough in the freezer, and how long it'll last. And then here's like she talks about the protein content of different flour. Like she's got like the different types of flour, what they will do for your cookies, different types of sugar, what they will do for your cookies, what happens if you put maple syrup in your cookies, and with pictures of everything. And like here, hold on, let me get here. This is okay, are you ready for this? So then she's got her control chocolate chip cookie recipe that you can then mess with and tells you how to do it. All everything, like salt, peanut butter, but, right? She's got this chapter 3, we've not even got the recipes yet, is about cookie customization. And check it out. This is pretty cool. Right here, it's like, if you want chewier cookies, you can use more brown sugar or add an egg yolk. And it tells you how to do it and why to do it. Why does adding an egg yolk make your cookie chewier? Or use bread flour or chill the dough. Like, this is what these different things will do if you want a chewier cookie. Use melted butter rather than not melted butter. If you want softer cookies, do these things, and then why. If you want cakey cookies, do these things, and then why. If you want thick and tall cookies, do these things, how, and here's why, right? So that's really, really cool. If you want thin and crisp cookies, then do this. And she's got pictures of everything. And then here's like a base cookie base, and then how to adjust the base cookie base to make whatever kind of cookie you want. And then, we're not even the recipes. Chapter 4, check it out, is cookie troubleshooting. So like, if you make cookies and you have problems, she can tell you, this is what you need to do to fix it. Like, if your cookies are too thick, if they're uneven, if they're too tough, if they're too crumbly, if they're burnt, if they're pale, if they're bland, if they're too greasy, or like, these are all the things you can do. If that's your problem, here's how to fix it. And that is one half of the entire cookbook is all just like the science of cookies. And then the second half is the recipes. And it's not just chocolate chip cookies. I mean, she certainly has different, including gluten-free options, different types of chocolate chip cookies. But then she's got like brown sugar cookies, soft lemon poppy seed cookies, s'mores cookies, like all sorts of like a wide variety of cookies, and apple crisp cookie bars. Oh, that sounds good. So I was like, it was recommended to me, and I was like, oh, okay. And this is like really, this is a book that was made for me because I really like to know things. Because I want, you know, it's like, I want to be able to understand what I'm doing as opposed to just do it, you know? That's all. I love baking sciences, Baron Tor. Oh, Baron Tor, I'm gonna put a link to this book in our chat so that people can get it if they want. It's very cool. Control Cookie is an. Oh, I see you. I should play Control. I probably should. Okay. You often add more brown sugar, right? And it tells you what that, like, that's so cool. How do you make you want crunchier cookies. This book is called The Ultimate Cookie Handbook by Tessa Arias from Handle the Heat. And Rissa put in a link to Handle the Heat. It's got more than 50 cookie recipes, but it actually just actually helps you figure out how to do it in a way that will make you, make you get what you want. If you want chewier, softer, cakey, thick, tall, thin, crisp. Do you want like thin, crisp cookies? Use more granulated sugar rather than brown sugar, or add milk. Use less flour. Use a hot greased baking pan. Melted butter. Bake them at 375 rather than 350, or flatten the dough. So like there's like a, like it's just cool, very cool. Thank you, Rissa. Trooper, how would you like a YouTuber called Taste? Oh, Max Miller is great. I love tasting history with Max Miller. It's so good, so good. Actually, I made my own bread. I watched his. I think it was him. I watched his YouTube video on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. He did the original recipe, and he talked about the Pullman pan. And so I was like, oh, I want to make a. So I made and he gave the recipe to make a loaf of bread using a Pullman pan. So I got a Pullman pan and I made a loaf of bread, and I'm very excited about it. And I've got some bread dough, and it's very cool. Very excited about it. So that's Max Miller is pretty awesome. Cookie troubleshooting tip 1. If you think they didn't come out well, just give them to me and I'll dispose of them for you. Faltio, I see you. I see you. Hey, Lightning Invoker, how are you? We're talking about cookies. Gluten is delicious, but not in bulk. Is that like MSG? Thick, crisp. Yeah. Pullman pan. So, right, I was very excited because, so I have to tell you something about my European friends. You're making bread tomorrow? Oh. Mom made stew. We used up the last of out-of-date croissants. Ooh. I actually need to make another loaf of bread, but I have some bread still, but thinking about it. So cookies, a good conversation come to. Yeah, and it was all about this really wonderful cookbook, the Ultimate Cookie Handbook, which I recommend. The other thing that I will recommend, so I've been riding my bike, although it's been so busy, I'm not where I want to be, because I really wanted to get another metric century, which is like 62 miles in before it got really cold, and it is now really cold. And I do not think that I'll be able to get a metric century in. I have 120 miles left for me to finish virtually going around Iceland, and I'm almost done with that, and I know I'll be able to finish that. I've got till the end of December to finish my goal, and I know I will finish it. I just don't think I'm going to be in a space to go and do the metric century before it starts snowing, which I'm really sad about, which means we have to like build back up again. It's a bummer, but I got this one book, and I do recommend it. It's very cool. I got this book, which is called Feed Zone Portables, and it is a cookbook of on-the-go food for athletes. So it gives you a bunch of recipes for food that you can eat while you're biking or marathoning, things that are usually like around like 100, 200, 300 calories, that have a really good ratio of carbs and maybe not too high in fiber. Things that like you can eat that will help you get through like a really long thing. But what's really cool is that some of these recipes are great. And the one that I just made, by the way, which is delicious, is they've got these recipes for, like little hand pies. And the recipe that I just made, and it's in my fridge, and I had one earlier today, and it was delicious, is a potato chicken curry hand pie. And I actually put them in the muffin tin. So like I put they have a pie crust dough recipe. Made the little pie crust dough, put it in the muffin tin, and I put the filling, which is like curry powder, golden raisins, ground chicken, potatoes, a little bit of potato flour, I think some other stuff in there, right? And you make this really great filling, and then there's like some kind of liquid. I can't remember if it's like, might be chicken stock, probably. You make it, and then you stuff them up, make up the little things, and then you have them. And delicious, by the way. Delicious. So good. So they've got a bunch of these neat little recipes for things you can have on the go. And I know that I need them for when I'm bicycling, but also sometimes my life gets really hectic. So having a bunch of really nice on the go things that are not a protein bar is pretty great. And I also recommend that one. It's very good. Probably more, but I've learned to stop trying to do the math. Cat Thulu for 7th edition recently came out. Hope this cookbook will help you make lunch for work days where you can hide in a stairwell for 10 minutes. Yeah, like I like to just do a sandwich, but what's nice about this is that I just now have 12 hand pies. And so I'm just like, let me just grab it, put it in a bag, and I can just go off, and there I am. That sounds like fantastic meal plans that'll work for your lifestyle. Yes. Applesauce and oats is also very good. And what's really great is what's great about this is that they're portable, right? If you look at they're like, here, just get some of this wrap it up, boop, boop, boop. So I have these, I've got the one I have that I made right before this one is like rice with egg, ham, and cheese. You make little squares, like you bake them, make little squares of these kind of like rice rice cakes, but not like the dried ones, right? And you just wrap it up. So then you have like little boop, and then off you go. And they also have really nice recipes for like sweet pies, which are also really good in here. Um, yeah, I do like a good pie, but they've got rice cakes, baked eggs, 2-bite pies, baked cakes and cookies, griddle cakes, pancakes and waffles, and then other sort of like little portables. Like look at this, beef and sweet potato pies. Check that out. So cool. I haven't made that one, but that is also on my list. They also have one for like a mole pie, which I'm also really excited about. These are the ones that I made. These are the chicken curry potato pies, and it's diced onion, ground chicken, curry powder, golden raisins, water, potato flour, coarse salts, potatoes. It's really good. Sweet corn cakes, uh, little like it's good actually. It's and they have like how do you do things fast if you don't have them, right? If you like what are ways to sort of cut uh save yourself time, right? And they've got this like really nice thing for how you can use like little bowls to shape your uh rice balls to make them easier to move around and take with you. Yeah, speaking of which, I should make some of these rice balls. Anyhow, that's what I wanted to tell you because I was like, what I need is something I can make. I spend, I go once, I make 12 of them, and then I can eat them throughout the week. So that's the kind of a thing that, as well as just when I'm riding my bike, but also like if I'm riding my bike for like 4 hours, I'm gonna need food. But more importantly, when I'm crushed with work, I can just go, let me take, and y'all, that chicken potato curry hand pie, even cold, is delicious. Really good. Really, really good. I had a party recently and made bourbon balls from scratch for my grandmother's recipe, though they shouldn't be eaten for lunch. But if they're delicious, then maybe you should eat them for lunch. Ooh. Speaking of, Lightning Invoker, you're so awesome. Speaking of, I have a question. I was just thinking that I haven't had eggnog in years. Do you think that I could make eggnog? Do you think that would be hard? I've never made eggnog. Is that a hard thing to do? Because I know you can just go to the store and buy eggnog, but would making it yourself be better? Is it a hard thing to do? Like, is homemade eggnog difficult or not difficult? Is it like, hmm? uh I think Tasting Curious has a. Oh, they have an eggnog episode? Well, then I should watch it because that sounds like it would be just up my alley. You don't think it's so difficult? Yeah, I think I should. I think I should go and do that. By the way, I made Glühwein, which is like a German hot mulled spiced wine. Yeah, it was good. Uh, Wait, is that it? I feel like there are missing steps. I'm almost myself. Doesn't seem so bad. Look on the bright side. We got a whole story. Wait. I'm gonna say, wait, is that it? I feel like there's some steps missing. I'm gonna say that.
Tequila, I've thought about this series of events for a long time. If there was anything else to it, I would have thought of it by now.
I kind of feel like there might be some missing steps.
Why didn't you go to the authorities?
That's okay. There's one, or just like, I don't know. Do you have no friends? Zanzibar says I got myself a blender and just started making my own smoothies instead of buying them. Yeah, that's really good, right? Can I say this is really interesting? But when I made my own bread based on the recipe from the Max Miller Tasting History, the Pullman loaf, I will say this: one, it takes time, and the reason why I think people buy bread is because it's just faster just to go and buy it rather than make it yourself. But it tastes good. It does not last as long because of preservatives. You have to like chuck it in the freezer. What I learned, but it wasn't that hard actually. It actually wasn't hard to make your own bread. And of course, it's not fancy. It's just like plain bread, but you know, it's good. And I actually think it's better than the store-bought bread. No, that's not necessarily true because like if you get like a really good sourdough, Yeah. Um, I'm gonna get some chocolate milk to mix my Baileys with. Ooh, it's also cheaper. Yeah, I bet it is also cheaper and better for the environment. You know, bakery. Oh, roller. Absolutely, bakery is better. Like, I would go to I would get bakery bread any day.
Well, at one point they came to me, but, you know, I didn't have any ID on me, so they tossed me in jail for 2 days.
Okay.
I can't say it increased my faith in the RCM. No offense, gentlemen.
I got the idea from something positive web comment. Oh. Yeah, so like I don't, and here's the thing. I don't always have time to cook. During the summer I do, during breaks I do. I try to get some cooking done on the weekend. But we're gonna be in break, and I'm going to, because we're gonna be in break and I have a little bit more time, I'm gonna really try to, I don't know what I'm gonna make. I really, look, I'm gonna tell you all, because I don't know if Schmelz is still here. A thing I have not made that is one of my goals, is like one of my challenges. I really want to make some uh, uh, Sauerbraten, the German meat dish, Sauerbraten, but you have to marinate it for like 5 to 7 days. So, like, it's not one of those things that you can just do. Just do it because you have to marinate it for like 5 to 7 days. And you need a Dutch oven for it, but I have a Dutch oven. I got one on sale, really cheap. And I would like to make Sauerbraten. That is a thing that I would like to do for myself. And because it's like one of these like marinate for 5 to 7 days, I think it's one of those things I'm going to have to do. What if I do it over break? What if I make Sauerbraten over break, everybody? Well, think about it. Maybe I will. I don't know how realistic that is because I'm eating beef right now, and the next protein I'll be having will be chicken. So I'll have like chicken for 8 days, and then I'll have 8 days of. Then I'll probably do a shepherd's pie. No, because that's 2 potato in a row. So I'll probably do like uh, I don't know, like pork, and then I'll do. Oh no, I'll probably do tuna fish. Then I'll do pork. Then I might do lamb, and then or maybe I'll do the beef then. So it'll be a while before I circle back around to beef. Yeah. My work makes most of the bread you see in stores in the Northeast. Really? Wait, really? Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. Like, what do you do in your work? Do you actually bake the bread yourself? You should tell me. You need to consult star charts before you bake. Sour breaking. I'm still here, sadly, not an expert on Sauerbraten. Oh, Sauerbraten's so good. I should, yeah. First off, I love potatoes. You cover breaks in the makeup. Tell me more about that. Wait, you you do realize all of this is your own fault, right?
I don't remember you being such a dick before, Tequila.
He takes a slow, despondent sip from his bottle, then looks out across the bay towards the skyscrapers of La Delta.
That doesn't mean you're wrong, though. Anyway, that was all the tail one bottle gets you. Almost empty, this one.
He turns his eye to the bottle. I feel like, yeah. Why do you keep losing all of your stuff?
Good fucking question, Tequila. If I knew the answer, you think I'd be hanging out on a beach in this formerly premium but now extremely dirty two-piece lycra tracksuit? I used to own my reality situation. My business buddies and I had our own creative services agency. I had a nice apartment, an even nicer piece of ass. But somehow it all got away from me.
I suspect it was the drinking.
Now I can't hang on to anything. Just last week I stole this nice new jacket, but then I lost it too. The only things I haven't lost are these two drunks.
Yep. So everything before it gets wrapped and shipped. Oh, that's so cool. Somehow he knows. Yeah. And that's really neat. My, Zanzibar, I'm going to tell you a thing. I think about all the jobs that people don't think about, right? You know, like yours is one I think people just often don't think about it. My dad, he worked at the newspaper, but what he did was he was the person who was in charge of, well, he worked at street sales. So you know when it's 2023, so maybe not, but you know how back in the day at least there'd be those newspaper stands on the street. You'd put in your quarter, open it up, pull out a newspaper. So what he did was he bundled up all the bundles, figured out like how many bundles you think should go wherever it was, and he would like get them all loaded up to give to the Teamsters, who would then like put all the bundles on the back of the newspaper trucks, and then the Teamsters would go off and like then put the newspaper bundles in the various newspaper racks. And so he'd be things like, oh well, there's like a big story today, but that's going to come out in like the morning paper, so maybe we'll still need a decent amount for the afternoon, but maybe not so much. So he was, and I think people don't think about like, oh yeah, somebody's got to plan how many, like where to put those newspapers and get them loaded onto, you know, like there's like all these kind of like, there are a lot of like, I think kind of interesting or cool jobs that people don't necessarily think about. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Thank you, 15 Rissa. And also, Max, I agree with you. You can never have too many potatoes. Yep.
You of all people should empathize with this. Perhaps this lost jacket is something you could help with?
So, what's this about a lost jacket?
Tequila, it's a verifiable tragedy. It was practically brand new. Sure, it didn't really go with my Lycra threads, but it did itch a lot less.
Okay.
Say, you're a detective, right?
I am.
Maybe you can help old Doom Spiral out. Solve the case of the missing jacket. What do you say, Tequila?
Yeah. Okay, sure. Where'd you lose it?
If I knew where I lost it, don't you think I'd have it? I mean, maybe I was up by the boardwalk, or walking along the beach, or checking out the abandoned fish market.
That's a lot of places.
Somewhere north of here, that's for sure. You could ask around, see if anyone's seen it.
Sure. Now, what was the name of your agency?
My agency.
Yep.
Yeah. The Boom Boom Room.
What?
Our concept was combining high art with the lowest forms of marketing. The color red, breasts, and oil painting.
Really?
I convinced my partners to reinvest some of our profits in an even more high-concept cultural incubator called Thin Air. The artists were happy, the clients were happy.
Go on.
I was financing a group of poets in East Revachol who were developing a new universal poetic language. But then it all went to shit.
He looks toward the bay. I really feel like there's some steps missing in this story. I really do.
Sounds intriguing. What say you, Art Cop?
Oh, I am, after all, an art cop. I'm an art cop. I have thoughts about this. They boomed too much.
If it sounds like it makes no sense, that's because it doesn't.
I'm an art cop. Everybody, I am an art cop, which means this is now the moment for me to use my special art cop skills to say something. Mixing oil painting and breasts to make ads isn't high art, it's just cynical wankery. That's so high concept, no idea what it means. Man, mixing high and low commodifying culture, that is extremely my shit. No. Right, okay, never mind. No. There we go. Mixing oil painting and breasts just to make ads isn't high art, it's just cynical wankery.
Well, you know, sex sells. That's the first rule of advertising.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe, but it's still tired.
Maybe you're right. Who knows? Maybe we were behind the curve? We were fucking rich, though, that much I know.
You sound like such a cool guy. Not. Art cop in high-pitched falsetto. Art cop! And then some Mob Squad. Yeah, Mod Squad type 70s music. Absolutely. Yep. What's up with the tracksuit?
What?
Yeah.
You've never seen 100% Lycra before? Go on. Feel that primo material.
The man extends his arm. I'll touch it.
Pretty nice, huh? This might be one of the last of its kind. Should probably be in a museum, honestly.
He takes another sip. I don't think I like this guy.
Good God. It's
Ooh.
nearly impossible to describe how dirty this texture is. It's like rubbing two jellyfish skins together. You feel about 15% less human for having touched it.
That's okay.
Randomized trials have also found Lycra, TM, to be associated with a number of exotic, highly malignant cancers. So you also have that to look forward to.
I feel like I only touched it once, so I might be okay. This guy, however, is probably not okay for a number of reasons, right? Oh, Mod Squad.
And then there's the smell. But you don't even want to think about that.
Yeah, let's not.
Wow, you're lucky. He never lets me feel it.
Which means you're not getting cancer.
That's because your paws are fucking filthy, Rosie. We're right next to the bay. You could wash them anytime.
Oh, wow. Encyclopedia, thanks for warning us about it after we touch it. Right, Valtiel? This is... Okay, so, but what about the other drunks? Talk to me.
My fellow members of the Union of Moribund Alcoholics?
Yeah.
They're exactly what they look like.
Okay, go on.
Hey, tequila! You want to buy some speed?
No,
Shut the fuck up, Rosemary. He's a cop, remember?
it's true.
I thought he was a cool cop.
I'm an art cop.
Don't call Abigail.
Yeah, I know.
And this is Abs. So yeah, that's basically us. We drink together.
Right. So, let me ask you something else.
I'm all ears, Tequila.
Have you got any more stories?
I do.
Oh.
But as you can see, my fuel tank is running quite low. If you catch my drift.
Right. He spins the bottle in his hand, not a single drop of liquid remains. Well, I don't have any on me right now.
Cottonmouth is keeping my tongue imprisoned.
He shrugs his shoulders dramatically. Well, you know what? I'll be seeing you. If I ever get any more alcohol, I will just, give it to you, I guess. Oh, you know what? I didn't talk to Rosemary. He's the one last person I didn't speak to. Maybe he has something interesting to say.
Good to see you, friend. Do I have deals set up for you, buddy boy?
He spreads his arms as if wanting to embrace me. Good to see you too, friend.
So what do you want? I got smokes. They're cheap. Very cheap. I got Pilsner. Great deal. You won't get a better deal on that piss. Spirits I can let go for 300 real. I also have speed. And by speed, I mean amphetamine.
I know what you meant, but also 300 reals a lot of money. It's like 20 real was what I needed to sleep in a hostel for the night, which means, let me see, let's say a hotel room is like, what is it like? I'm not going to spend 300 bucks for like a bottle of Ripple.
See? There it is, Bratushka. The spirit. Let's buy the spirit. 300 real is a lot, but this has to be done.
Necktie, no.
It's our end game.
No. Necktie, no. No. This is just another stupid drunk idea I'm having that I'm attributing to my necktie.
Bratan, you don't understand. It's not just another drink. This
Nope.
is what our relationship has been building towards all these years.
Nope.
This is the climax.
Nope.
The mystery.
No.
The virginal sign.
No.
You have to buy it from him. Get it off him. Kill him if you have to. Our ultimate fate depends on it.
No.
The fate of many worlds.
No. Krillin asks, if you're always ignoring that necktie, why don't you take it off? Well, because I might not ignore him at some point. He might give me some good advice.
The lieutenant looks at you, looking at the bottle of spirits, then at Rosemary, suspiciously.
Yeah, why does a bottle of spirits cost 300 real?
See, friend, it's real valuable. Worth every real, if you catch my drift. Got it from a bit of a business venture.
He brings out a 1-liter bottle with bluish liquid. Does not sound good. The mouth is corked shut. It's, I'm gonna let him speak.
You know, it's funny, actually.
He bursts out laughing, then takes 3 gulps of his Pilsner and stares at me intently.
He's finding it difficult to focus his watery gaze.
What is?
What?
What do you mean what? What did you think was funny earlier?
This guy.
He says and shakes his index finger at me.
Conversation might bring a discount, no?
Where did you get the bottle of spirits from?
Oh, this is medicinal spirits. The good stuff. Got it from the doctor's office.
He ain't shitting you! Medicinal spirits are a blast, Bratan! The flaming truth of this joke of a world!
I got one of those scientific ampules a few months ago. Torpedo, they call it. It's supposed to keep a man from taking a drink.
He spits a nasty yellow clot on the ground before me.
Didn't stop me for shit, that's for sure. 5 lemons with half a pack of butter and you're good to go.
His voice rings with pride. That sounds dangerous?
It was. In a
Thank you,
week, the
Hawkeye.
goddamn kidneys started giving me all kinds of help. Finally, the missus took me to a private doctor's office. Not a charity, the real thing.
All sounds bad.
Those arseholes charged me 4 real to remove the damn thing. But I came out on top after all.
Okay, how?
The idiots left me alone in there. Now, I used to teach high school biology. I know what doctors use to preserve dead thingies.
He gets an excited gleam and is like, is this formaldehyde? Is this formaldehyde? I feel like, is this formaldehyde?
Like 3 cans of this blue medicinal stuff from the back room. Threw the snakes out and voila. What's left is this beautiful blue stuff. 98.7% almost pure alcohol.
I am not drinking formaldehyde.
2 I already sold to these fine gentlemen here. But this last one is yours for 3 real, if you want it.
3?
Don't say it.
I was thinking it was going to be antifreeze at first, but now I'm convinced it's formaldehyde. Yeah, right. Look, he just said 3. I have to buy it. I'm not going to drink it, but I have to buy it. I think it will prove useful, yes.
3 real and it's yours, friend.
Okay,
The deal
sure.
of a lifetime.
Absolutely.
Well done. You got it.
Thank you.
That's a much more reasonable price right there. Makes sense now.
Yeah. Here's the money for the spirits.
Just make sure to enjoy that one, friend.
I'm not going to drink it, but I have it.
Bratan, I am so proud! Now, whatever you do, don't drink it! This deserves so much more than just regular oral consumption!
Huh.
Just wait for my sign. Keep it with you. Keep it warm. Keep it safe. Soon we will enter the other world.
This is very disconcerting, horrific necktie.
Soon. The time will come soon. Have patience, brave one.
I do not know what any of this is about. I'm concerned. It's quite the business venture you've set up here.
Oh. The system's been good to old Rosemary here, and I'm milking her like a bitch goat in the backyard.
We can charge him with attempted murder, maybe. What do you mean?
You see, friend, man makes his own luck.
Uh-huh.
And I made mine real good. Got my hands on 3 bottles of liquor exquise. Sold 2 to the fellows around here, and immediately invested the profit.
Go on.
Bought cigarettes, bought beer, even bought a bit of speed. And look at me now. I've got everyone on my hook.
He spreads his arms and smiles in a crooked, toothless
The
smile.
hook. Where is it? I can't see it.
Looks like you're on your own hook, too.
Of course. It is what it is, you know. What it's always been. People, buddy boy. It's the people.
Yeah, I'm off. Also, I didn't actually check what... Oh, you know what? It didn't tell me what it does, so I'm off.
In the civilized world, it's a custom to tip the shopkeep, friend. But come back anyway.
All right, he waves me off. So we have talked to everybody in this area. We're going to set ourselves up for success by walking... By walking around and...
A drop in temperature, an easy flow there. An empty street. Before you, a thoroughfare unjammed with lorries. No more drivers smoking on hitch steps. Just silence.
What did the smoke smell like?
Chemically sweetened. Across the road, a forgotten bus stop. Corrosion has opened a hole in its roof. An elm tree watches over the building. Its branches are dripping with rain and snow.
The writing's very good.
The road is smooth and motley. Craters filled with a black asphalt. The asphalt, first laid, is grey already. A row of tenements are under construction in the distance.
Who are the people who live across the road?
A tub warm with water, white with soap. A man bathes while radio waves transmit the lottery numbers. 4, 18, 21, 4, 1. A modern washing machine rattles a drawer full of silverware. His boyfriend is on his way home. He brings tins of meat and vegetables with him. Their pockets are heavier with money, but only slightly.
Well, what about the bus stop?
Number 312D.
Yeah.
Young girls used to come here, huddled up, hoping for more warmth than their thin coats give them. The bus took them to school. It has not run for 8 years. There were not enough girls to sustain its cost.
There's a really good song that I'm thinking of, and I should sing it for you one of these days. Reminds me of this moment where I have the kind of like kitchen sink realism that you would get in 1950s British films. There's a vibe. What about the road?
Craters pocked the surface. Children played in them until heavy trucks full of black pitch rolled in. The landowners have filled the craters with money. It is a vital artery of the flow of trade. There's one bump on the road. A dead dog lies flat about 200 paces away, right at the turn.
A dead dog?
Tragedy comes from the wheels of a fast RCM vehicle hurrying to work. The cold washes over you. The sound of the sea has grown distant.
Well, that is enough.
The wind moves the aerosol. A detective stands behind the boom barrier. A breeze moves a curl of his hair.
Wow. So I have to go. We've hit time. We spent most of our time today being wonderfully, what's the word? Hold on. Wonderfully, sharing. A little black swallow circles above me. I hear it chirp. So here's the thing. We're going to stand back here because I think what we need to do is explore this area next time around. And if I stand here and make myself face this direction, I'll know that that's where we're headed. So we're going to, I don't think, hold on. Before I 100% commit to that choice, I want to make sure we actually cannot walk this way, which we cannot. That's all I needed to know. So I actually think that's perfect. We'll place ourselves here. So next time we know exactly where we're going. And save. Okay. Let me do my outro. Oh my gosh. A pillow awaits you. So first off, thanks for hanging out. I understand that we did not get a whole lot done today, but I shared like in the game, but I shared 2 books, shared music. We talked about a lot of stuff. I thought it was pretty good. So let's talk about what's next. Today's Thursday. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern will be the season finale of The Gamblers, our Traveler Pirates of Drinax campaign. Saturday, I'll be here at noon for Rain World. Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern over at Praxagor, that's Mephoria's channel, I will be doing the Carousel Court, her Southern Gothic Urban Fantasy campaign. Monday, it's not my calendar, but so I have to add it. Monday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern over at Wandering DM will be the season finale of Montreal by Night, which I'm pretty excited about. And then here again for more Disco Elysium on Thursday at 6. Friday, so next Friday, not tomorrow, but in a week, will be part 2 of The Sandman. We were playing The Sandman, and for my streamiversary, right, we did The Sandman, but we didn't get to finish it, so we're going to be doing part 2 of The Sandman on Friday after tomorrow. And on the 30th of December, which is a Saturday at I'm not it's not confirmed yet, but I think 2 p.m. will be part 2 of Twilight Road. So the the two games that we started up during my anniversary, we're going to have our part 2s of them, and maybe we will be able to finish them up on both of those things. If not, we will find out. Now, what else will be happening in December and January in terms of what RPGs? I don't know yet, because I've got to go and send off some emails. But that's what we've got going on right now, and it has been so lovely. I will be watching Critical Role with the crew, and if you want to hang out in a chat that is not full of 50,000 people, you can hang out in our Discord where we will be and chat with us. And let me see. I didn't expect there to be much playing. You were playing a lot on Saturday due to the nature of Rain World. I suppose. I know, brag in the wallet. I suppose you're correct, Rissa. I try to get it in there, but let's see. So, oh, I have to tell you, I do have a plan. Because it's a break and it's the end of the year. I do want to do like a maybe it'll be maybe the 4th of January, which is a Friday. We'll do like a state of the foxhole stream where we like do a recap. We'll see. I want to do a recap somewhere in there. We'll find out. So let me see. That's it. I'll be hanging out here at 10 p.m. So like in a half hour for the Critical Role. I'm gonna go get some food, and I'm gonna make a chicken sandwich. But y'all are lovely. Y'all are wonderful. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm glad. Thank you for like hanging out and listening to my little synthesizer and being cool. I will see you later, and that's what we're gonna do. All right. Oh, right. Sorry. Thanks, Rissa. You can find me at Trooper SJP here and on YouTube, which is where I have the archive of all of my shows. I'm gonna right after we get here, I'm gonna put up the YouTube for the last episode of The Gamblers. You can find me at Trooper SJP also on Blue Sky. You can find me at Academic Foxhole on Twitter, on Patreon, and at our merch store at Fourth Wall, which all of that is really like all that goes helps the channel. And that's all the spaces you can find me. You all are amazing. Hang out in our Discord, and I'm going to go and grab some food, and I'll see you all at Critical Role if you like. All right, everybody. I will catch you later. Bye.